Hey guys, how you doing? Hello everybody, I'm here with Mike Volpe and Richard Luthmann. How you doing?
How's it
Happy
going, Lisa?
Monday.
How are you, Lisa? Happy Monday.
I'm good, just chilling. I wasn't gonna go live tonight, and then I decided, yay, and then Mike said, hey, I'll come on if you're going on tonight. So here we are. I sent you a link too, and here you are, Rich. So so what you guys want to talk about tonight?
Can we talk about that motion?
Sure.
So there's, hold on. Do you want to get it up on the screen? Because I want to read from it.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I didn't redact it and I didn't show it last night.
All right.
Because I did not want to have the minor's name in there. So I did not redact it.
All right. So I'll just
Mike?
I'll just read from the part. I won't use her name.
Thank you.
Look, if they wanted their minors' names redacted, they should have.
I just didn't want to myself. I knew it was already out there, it was already posted, but me talking about it, I just didn't want to do that.
I got you. All right. At the time of prior proceedings on September 20th, 2020, his daughter was then diagnosed with adjustment disorder and PTSD.
Right.
So PTSD is what people get coming back from war.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's the same as war. It's the same as rape. It's the same as a whole bunch of slew of the most dangerous and terrible things that could happen to a human being.
Yeah. Being Jeremy Hales' son or wife is akin to going to war. I mean, that's as damning an indictment as you can get. Then the other thing is they ordered this girl to go to therapy for about a year. And then her lawyer, or her mom's lawyer, he wrote a good motion. So what's his name? Todd Cheek. Writes this motion where he's like, it's just giving her extra anxiety. Can you please stop it? Basically, like she wants nothing to do with her dad. The court does this all the time. So Rich and I talked about a case, Amelia Martinez. I interviewed her when she was 16, and she came to me because her therapist in the same situation as the Hales daughter was like coming down on her. She was being squeezed, and she felt like she had nowhere else to go, and she wanted this lady to stop putting pressure on her. And it was the same deal. Her dad ripped her clothes off, threw her in the car. They got into a fight, and then he had her arrested and thrown in a juvie for 24 hours. And that was the beginning of a cycle. And by the time they ordered her to do therapy with a therapist and this guy, the relationship had completely broken down. And it might be a paid for child. That might be true, but the diagnosis is what it is.
Well, every expert is paid for. That's crap, right? That's crap.
What do you
mean by fake? That's the big question. What is fake?
Well, I think she means that that it was court appointed. I'm not even sure that the psychologist was court appointed. But same thing in Amelia's case. And as a result of the interview, the therapist did back off for a while, and then we did a second interview, and the therapist backed off. But it's really common for courts to order these therapies, and then these kids have to go. We interviewed Gwen and Grace, and they were ordered to go with these reunification therapists. Same thing, ordered. And look, if it's ordered, it's not therapy, because therapy is supposed to be therapeutic, and it's not therapeutic if it's coerced. So it's it's an abomination is what they're doing, and it's really common what they did to this girl. The uncommon thing is that this lawyer filed this thing and it was granted. Usually they keep forcing it, and they don't stop.
I think that's possible because of the son going through it first.
Right. Well, your best bet to recapture a relationship like that is on your own, and not by forcing the child to do anything. And it's abusive parents that force their kids into therapy to try to repair a relationship. And so the other thing is, this guy's an abuser. All right, he abused his family physically, and then when he can no longer physically abuse them, he abused them legally, and that's what this divorce. And then when he couldn't abuse them at all anymore, He found some folks and eventually found John Cook and Michelle Preston to legally abuse. And legal abuse is a form of abuse. In fact, there's a term coined by Karen Huffer, who I talked to a few times, and she passed away a couple of years. It's called legal abuse syndrome. And it's a form of PTSD that you get for being forced to go through years of litigation. And it's possible that his ex-wife, Sarah, has legal abuse syndrome. You can only imagine having to go to court for 9 years with Jeremy Hales, what that's going to do to you. So this lawsuit is an extension of his abusive personality. Just like he's got a bunch. You know better than me that John Cook and Michelle Preston aren't the first or second person he's sued. This guy loves to sue. See, He waited at court for 9 years. Then he found some other people to sue, and then some other people. And John Cook and Michelle Preston are the last people. He loves to sue.
Well, people love to watch the courtroom drama now too, and that started up like a few years ago, and that's when he started to sue like Marilyn Raby. He's been threatening to sue people all the time. You know, he's threatened to sue his neighbors that he bought the property from. He's threatened to sue Town of Otter Creek. He did, in fact, sue them. Right. But when Therese Granger became mayor, she settled it with them for $5,000. So, and then you have Michelle and John. Right. You know, and now everybody else.
Right. Well, and he's threatening to sue Guapo and his girlfriend's sister. So there's a lot. He's an abuser. This is a form of abuse. The other thing, getting to what Dave is saying, this thing is potent. Jeremy was on his live talking about it. Megan's talking about it. Tug's talking about it. It's all over social media. They're all trying to spin. And I'm gonna give the pro Hales people some words of wisdom. Dick Morris, Richard, you remember Dick Morris? Well, he's still he's not dead. Morris. He's not dead. But Dick Morris once said that when he was working for President Bill Clinton, he and the president said, "We don't care what the media says. We only care what the media is talking about." So as long as you're talking about the economy, there were core issues, the economy being the most core that favored Clinton. Monica Lewinsky was a disfavor. So they didn't care if you try to make the economy look like everybody's starving, because Bill Clinton was polling at like 69%. You know, that's perfect for Clinton. In high 60s on the economy. And there was nothing you were going to say that was going to change people's minds. So if all they heard was the economy, then Bill Clinton was doing great. And if all they heard was Monica Lewinsky, whether you're spending it positively or negatively, that was bad for him. And so if these pro Hales people, if all you do is talk about this motion, it doesn't matter what you say. All you're doing is talking about the motion. And you're talking about how a court motion said that Jeremy Hales was an abuser. So you can spin it how you want, but as long as
the motion was granted.
Right. And the motion was granted.
It was granted. It was not denied. It was granted.
Correct. They can go lie. This is all public record. And this is document 1. It's 9 years. If we can hyperanalyze his divorce all day long. Rich and I do this. This is our forte.
This is our bailiwick.
Right. You don't think we can figure out what's happening in his divorce? And look, normally I'm talking to someone. I reached out to that guy, Cheek. He's not going to, I doubt he or Sarah are going to talk to me. Obviously, Hales isn't going to talk to me. So normally I have someone who can walk me through the documents, but I can figure this out. So, but look, that motion said he was an abuser. The motion was granted the next day.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So maybe he was allowed to see his kids. Probably not that often, because none of them really wanted to have anything to do with him.
No, and I think also because of COVID, it was and probably thank God for the children. It was a video. Because I know he was doing video when he was down in Florida because he was talking with Robbie. He actually asked Robbie to get him a puppy so he could tell his daughter that he got her a puppy.
Right.
I mean, like, Robbie,
no. You're reduced to nothing more than video visits with your kids, then a court will think you're much of a parent. Look, courts get it wrong all the time.
Yeah.
So the judge, even though they are the decider, they're not infallible. But look, both his kids suffered from PTSD. I mean, being his child is akin to going to war. It doesn't get any more damning as an indictment of a human being than you gave your kids PTSD, and he doesn't feel sorry about it at all.
No.
I'm I'm going to say something. I'm going to claim litigation privilege, and I'm going to say it for me and me alone. I'm solely responsible for the contents of this statement. That it's a shame that Jeremy Hales is abusing the legal system the same way he's been alleged to abuse his children, Jason and Alyssa. And the only question is whether he's stopped abusing his children. It doesn't appear that he has, because he hasn't stopped abusing the legal system either. So you can take that and quote that and put that in quotes and amend your complaint again, Mr. Shockett and Mr. Hales, and put that in, because maybe you might try to get somewhere close to something that's after, even though it's my opinion, and I can be a prick about it, but litigation privilege. So that's all I have to say about
your opinions are always covered, because opinions are always covered.
That's also a filed court document that we're talking about. So that's covered. And so the question is, has he stopped abusing the courts, or will he ever stop abusing the courts? And has he ever stopped abusing his children or his family? And in my opinion, the answer is no. No.
Then the other thing is
not. I mean, he threw his son under the bus last night. He threw his ex-wife under the bus. I mean,
Hey, Lisa, last night, what? There was a special day. What was yesterday?
Mother's Day.
He went off on the mother of his children on Mother's Day. Do you know? You know how cold and despicable that is.
Yeah, and not only that, it was his girlfriend's. It was his girlfriend or partner's birthday the day before, and that was supposed to be the big celebration. But he took it over, and he had to make sure everybody knew the story. You know,
right? But he didn't provide any evidence besides trust me.
No. What he did was. He showed a chart.
Listen, every abuser says they're abused. DARVO. Right. Let's explain what DARVO is. Every abuser uses DARVO.
DARVO is a term that is applied to individuals who are narcissists. Usually, it's a classic narcissist trait. And there's a person that we talk about a lot. His name is Jeremy Hales, and in my opinion, he's a narcissist. And what narcissists do, they have an ego-driven need for control. They have an ego-driven need to just to rest their hands around everything. One of the ways that they do it is something that's been called DARVO. DARVO is a term, and it stands for deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. So think about it. What does it mean? A person like Jeremy Hales will abuse you, right? And then a person like Jeremy Hales would deny that the abuse even occurred, that it ever occurred, right? Yeah. Even then, when his two children, when a therapist, when all sorts of other people would say otherwise, right? And a person like Jeremy Hales would attack the mother and the legal process for having a prolonged, decade-long litigation, therapy harmful to Alyssa and to Jason. Then
I doubt she's the one that prolonged that case.
Jeremy Hales would reverse the roles. He would portray himself as the victim. His actual victims, his children, his ex-wife, they're re-traumatized every moment. Right. He turns around, he uses the court as a weapon. He manipulates the legal tools. He demands loyalty, emotional performance from the traumatized children. That's what DARVO is. That's what DARVO stands for. And that's what it's textbook with somebody like Jeremy Hales.
Right, and that's what he's doing. But every abuser turns it around. And I don't know if Hales claimed parental alienation, but this was the perfect case for an abuser to claim it. So I'll see if he ever suggested that the only reason they're saying this is because their mom is putting those thoughts in their head. That's normally what the abuser does, but I didn't see that yet in any of the files. But yeah, he turned it around, but it's trust me, bro. No, that's not what happened. She hit me or whatever. The court documents are a lot stronger than your word, Jeremy Hales. I mean, come on. Give me a break. So in order to believe Hales, you'd have to believe that his ex-wife lied, that his kids lied, that two psychologists are stupid, that that her lawyer was in on it, and then
there's a GAL involved too.
Right.
Well, when he tried to switch it over, his wife was the abuser. His wife did this to the son. He also brought up the fact that he dated this girl for 5 years or whatever, or 3 years after it. This is the girl that he was dating that he started the storage unit business with. Okay,
Right.
the
Look,
one that George is actually sub Holly. Okay, Holly is the one that started it, and he's actually saying that Holly he had to kick out of his house 5 times because she was an abuser. But what
right.
he's not telling anybody else is that she's the one who had a protective order against him for 5 years.
Right. Well,
5 years, and it was handed to him the day he started dating George. Okay, 5 years she had a protective order against him, and he was calling her the abuser right there.
Right.
So I mean, he's just full of it.
So the motion says the party's middle child was first diagnosed with adjustment disorder, then PTSD. According to his counselor back then, the PTSD diagnosis was due to abuse endured, memories of his childhood, and being around his father. So,
that's Jason,
in order to believe that that really it's the mom, that this is all like some fake, you'd have to believe that this particular psychologist was fooled. Like where did the psychologist get the PTSD diagnosis? You don't just. Are you saying that the psychologist is completely unethical, stupid? Because to diagnose diagnostic, you're supposed to do it in a psychologically scientific method. It doesn't. You don't just go. It sounds like you say your dad hit you. Well, then you must have PTSD. That's not how it's supposed to work. Are you saying that this diagnosis was done improper? What is she saying? How does Megan know? Was Megan there? So in order to believe,
Megan's just listening to his bullshit.
Well, right. Well, so this
Megan should know better, right, Mike? Megan should know better.
The most hypocritical person is Megan. But what's crazy?
Why wouldn't she? She goes and checks cases all the time. Why wouldn't she go and look at that court record? It does not say denied anywhere.
Right.
Anywhere. And when he showed that piece of paper last night, he showed the date. And I said, okay, let's go back to the court record and see what he's talking about. And there's an agreement there, which obviously came out of a hearing, probably because of the no contact order.
I'll tell you how it works, Lisa. Here's how it works, okay? You go to court, and what happens, they file an emergency motion, and the court granted it like a couple days later, right? So they granted the emergency motion. And then you have a hearing date like a couple of weeks later on the actual motion itself. So the emergency motion is in place until you have the hearing date. And then the judge will rule on the full motion at that point. So the restraints that the judge put in on an emergency would be put into place permanently after that point. Now, what happens usually in the courts is they want to deal with appeals. They don't want to deal with judges making a decision. They don't want things messy. So they do what's called a consent order or an agreement, like Jeremy was holding up. So they say to Jeremy, if you go ahead with this, if we go ahead with this motion, you're going to be screwed. So here are terms that we want you to agree to. Agree to this. It's not going to be as draconian as it could be if the judge rules on this, if the judge is forced to rule on this. Then they avoid an appeal. They avoid all sorts of procedural issues. And it's a lot cleaner for the court because the court isn't the one making the decision. All they're doing is signing off on what the parties agreed to. So when Jeremy holds up that piece of paper, he's lying to everybody. Because his ass was exposed. He was bent over a barrel, and they said, listen, you better sign this if you want to have any hope of seeing your kids ever again, if you have any hope of not being labeled a terrible abuser. And that's really why he signed that agreement, because he had to.
Right. Look, I did I'm still doing it. Jeff Reichert, it was the same thing. His ex-wife twice was caught drunk while taking care of their son. So his lawyers went to her lawyers and said, if you agree to this consent order, which was supervised visits for her only, you got to be a really bad parent to only see your kids in a supervised fashion. And she agreed to it because they were like, well, then we'll go to trial and we'll talk about the time you got wasted in the hotel. And Grant, that's their son, was there. And he had I don't know what happened to him, but it was bad, and we'll talk about this other incident, and this other incident, and this other incident. And she agreed to it. But of course, it's a distortion. And that, what Rich described, and look, the reason that they grant them is, like, if you go to the court and say, my ex-wife had an ex to our kid, they can't wait for a hearing. The kid's going to die. You grant it, but you still have to at some point prove that your ex-wife had an ex. So you make sure the child is in safety, and and you better be telling the truth, because if you put the court in, if you told the court that your ex-wife had an ex and she doesn't, and forced all of these changes, you're going to be in big trouble. But that's the reason for the process. But look, when people are cornered, sometimes they see that what they're offered is the best they're going to get. But Jeremy flashing that paper means nothing. Yeah, they may have agreed to something.
Did you freeze it and read what else it says?
Right. Well, they may have agreed to something, and I'll see if that's available on the court docket. But first, before that, the emergency motion was granted. So you came to a consent agreement while not being able to see your kids. Yeah,
exactly.
I doubt your ex-wife gave you a lot of time when she had an order that you see them never. So stop. He's counting on people not knowing how the system works. Except Rich and I have done this a long time. We know I've gone through it myself personally. So I know it firsthand, secondhand. I've read a million motions. I don't know if I could be a divorce attorney, but I know enough about the child custody not to be fooled by some nonsense. And not only does Megan know better, but look, you can look up Chuck Haynes, and there's a lot of cases like that. But Chuck Haynes was probably the best case she did. She stands up for the kids being abused, not for the abuser, but not in this case. The irony, and she's such a hypocrite. She on nothing falsely accuses Michelle Preston of Munchausen after spending her career saying Munchausen is bogus. And then on top of it, when she sees a court document, she keeps defending this guy knowing that it's accurate. It's the exact opposite of everything she's done in her whole career. When family court people will find out what she did here, anyone who still supports her in that world is done. Supporting an abuser.
I can't believe she just even lied just by saying it was denied. Nothing was denied. Not even at the hearing was it denied.
It's on the court document.
The motion was not denied. The motion was not decided. It was resolved.
No, the motion was
dismissed.
The motion was resolved by the consent order.
Correct. The motion was granted, and then there was a consent order while that motion was in play. But
the emergency application was granted, right?
If you have a motion, if you have an order that stops the other party from having any time when they're at zero, and you agree to some custody order, how much time do you think you're agreeing to? It's not a lot. All right. He's not getting 50-50. He's probably not even getting weekends. I doubt he's getting anything more than supervised visits. So.
Which was definitely happening because he had a therapist there. His daughter had a therapist there. There was also a therapeutic animal there.
Right.
Yeah.
But look, this thing is potent, and they know it. You support Jeremy Hales. You are supporting a documented child abuser. So this is where they're at. They have bent over. Right, they have bent over backwards for this guy, and they're going to keep doing it. His fans, they don't care about any of the bad stuff he does. He's created in their mind this worldview that he's taking on bad folks, as if like the real problem in the world is the misdeeds of John Cook and Michelle Preston. Like he's some hero plucking two people who didn't want to have any publicity shined on them and turning them into villains, and he's some sort of a hero by doing that. Ridiculous.
It's absolutely insane. But that brings up the Hodunk Hillbillies. Is that not crazy or what? That's hilarious.
I think it's great. I think it's great. I can't take credit for it. I can't take all of it. I'm just promoting.
Listen, can you find one of their videos? Can we play one of them?
Sure, I played them all the other night. Which one you want me to play?
All right. Well, play one. Oh, you played them all. Let's just play one then. All right.
Well, I'll play a few. I mean, the other night I played
play the one with the Deuce and the reporter. Play that one.
Okay, hold on. Let me grab it. Let's see.
Because he looks strikingly like Michael Volpe. I don't know where they ever got that idea.
Oh God. anti what the hell's media ecosystem wrecked. Did she like that word wrecked or something?
Yeah, that's like
You said that the judge wrecked John Cook the other day. I'm like, okay.
All right. You mean when he denied it because he submitted it during their stay period?
Yeah. I was like, he wrecked him.
Right. So but look, she's trying to be hip. She used to call me.
She ain't
Boomer.
hip.
She would call me Boomer all the time when I couldn't figure her technology out. Okay, Boomer. But she's trying to be hip, like she's using the words the cool kids use. Listen, Megan, you're Gen X. Use our slang. Don't use Z slang.
All right, which one is it? Is it the interview and notice of lawsuit?
No,
just play that. Play one of them.
No, there's the good one with hold on, let me see.
Deposition answers, donations to help those who can help themselves, pride and hypocrisy. Sorry.
Oh, here we go. I'll put it in the thing for you. I put it on the thing. I put all sorts of tagging onto it on another YouTube channel. So grab that one.
All right, let's see. Whoa. Oh, okay. Got it. All right, now I gotta share it. This dude is so funny.
This I love this one.
All right. Resurrection.
Resurrection of the Deuce.
Oh, here we go.
All right, you ready? Here we go.
As the well was settling into his new lifestyle and he was getting more views than he ever dreamed, a reporter reached out to interview him about his lawsuits.
Hey, we are here with Mr. Rose, who's been filing multiple lawsuits against him. Why are you asking for donations for your legal fees when you're so sure you're winning?
I do not understand what you mean.
I want you to think you know exactly what I mean. Your audience are the Hodunk Hillbillies. They don't have a pot to piss in themselves. Yet you file lawsuits and beg for donations. You know these people are not that smart. The last I pulled public records, you have over $1 million in assets. And if you win, you get your legal fees paid back and more. So, why?
They wanted to help. I never asked them to donate. Listen, we have a ton of legal expenses, and it takes a lot of money to create YouTube videos. It's not what you think.
I have a special guest who I brought today. I think you have named him Deuce on your YouTube channel. You know who this is, correct?
Yes, I am suing him too.
Well, he has some questions for you. Go ahead, Mr. Stone. Ask away.
Hello, Mr. Wales. I see your viewers have increased since you decided to make a character out of me.
You defamed me and ruined my income flow.
According to the records, it actually looks like you're profiting off using my image. Did I give you permission to profit from my image?
I changed your image, made your nose bigger. I am allowed to do that.
Actually, you are not allowed to do that. When you're profiting from making me a character, which can be proven this has increased your views and audience. And doesn't that help your advertising income?
Had nothing to do with that.
I think otherwise. Now, will you accept service in my lawsuit against you in New York, where I live, or do I need to formally serve you?
Well, that concludes our interview today. Watch us weekly as we follow Mr. Wales' lawsuit more closely. Stay tuned.
And like that, the interview ended.
All right, that's so. It's
great.
Is that like a British brother, Mike? Do you have a British brother, or
there's a journalist out of England. Her name is Liz Perkins. Some people call her the female Mike Volpe, but that's the British Mike Volpe. Very nice. So it's interesting, though, how in the last week or two the narrative has completely changed.
Right.
They're all talking about this, the motion, and these videos are popping up all over the place. Is Megan, and are they talking about any, like, are they saying anything that then gets other people talking? Is Hales saying anything that gets other people talking? Or
well, he's talking about me more than he's ever talked about me. He's talking about paint chips more. He's probably mentioned paint chips more than anything in the past couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah, paint chips has been added to the daily mocking list. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, yeah. So
I thought I was going to get away with not being mentioned the other day, but nope, he threw me in.
right. Well, so he's mocking us, and then his fans mock us. But that's basically that's it.
His fans' existence is mockery in itself. They look in the mirror, they mock themselves. They're friggin' morons.
Yeah. Right.
They're the hillbillies, the Hodunk hillbillies. What do you expect?
Hodunk hillbillies.
Right,
and speaking of which, apparently they're all pissed off about this motion coming out. So you know what they did? This one chick, and I'm sure she wants attention here, so I'm going to give it to her because she's an idiot. Donna Doobie or something is posting pictures of whom she thinks is all my family. And I'm going to put it out there now.
I saw that, but does she understand? There's a difference between showing a motion that shows that Jeremy Hales abused both his kids to the point of PTSD and saying, hey, Lisa has a mom, and here's a photo of her mom. Ooh.
Well, what they did was they showed my cousins, and they're trying to say, oh, Lisa's family is worse. I'll get to them later. You know, Lisa's side is worse. Right. Asshole, that is Lisa's side. That is Lisa's side. And by the way, those boys are underage. So I suggest you remove that image. She said, no, they were born in 2000. Well, guess what? No, they are not 18 yet. I suggest you take that down. So I'm like sitting here like, wondering why are they even doing that? Like, that's like, I have never posted any child's picture on here except for me and Harley with permission because we were doing the Harley Jolly Christmas and we wanted everybody to see, look, she's a happy little girl. So I did that and they snagged that and ran with it. And the only other who they would call child, or guess maybe Jason, because he's Jeremy's son, who's 19 years old and came on all on his own. But I have never posted anybody's pictures of their children anywhere, and they're trying to say I did, and I did not.
Right. Well, this is the sort of like games that they get into.
Yeah.
The only time I think it's permissible to publish children is when you have a public figure who's injected their children into the story. Like, they're using a child as a prop. They're using a child as a shield for something. Then the child being there, I think, it could be there. But aside from like that situation, and I've had that situation right now with somebody else.
The media
going on Kendra's social media page, her that you're not friends with her and stealing her pictures and maliciously posting them is a whole different ballgame.
Right. Look, the media was really careful with Hillary and Bill's kid. Oh my God, Chelsea.
Yeah.
And Sasha and Malia, especially. Chelsea was, I think, a teenager when Bill. No, she probably wasn't a teenager when they started. But even and that's the president of the United States. You know, it's not like
she was about 13 when they started, Mike. 13. She was 92 when they got in.
Yeah.
So she was like 12, 13.
Right.
And
Sasha and Malia were even younger. And it's not like you got to get the president's permission to get a photo of them, but
no,
the media was really careful about what they said about the kids because
you just don't do that. There's like, you know what I mean? Like there's.
But look, you have to talk about the kids when you're talking about child custody, but they don't. It's ridiculous. Like. You have a mom.
I even left her name out of it, you know. And Jeremy went and doxed his own daughter by posting that stuff. I kept her name out. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
obviously, everybody knows he had 3 kids.
I'm not a big believer in that, except that's what people.
Well, I just wanted to have respect for the child. You know what I mean?
Well, the kids have a name. Like you're all doing them a favor. We interviewed Gwen and Grace Gerard. They're both 17. They've done a lot of media, but in court documents, they go by GW and GR. And I'm like, are you kidding? Everybody knows who these girls are. Who cares?
Right.
So I think that's overblown because everybody knows the kid has a name. What are you protecting?
Right.
And one other thing, I think I saw some of this on social media. I think Jeremy said this is a private marriage. It's not a private matter. It's in court, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Put it
out there.
It's a court document that I'm using.
He's a public figure.
Right. he's a public figure, but this isn't a private matter. That's a court document. I don't know if you realize this, but by going to court for 9 years, you opened up your entire private life to the entire world, because anyone can call that court and get any of those documents. So it's not a private matter. You want this to be a private matter, do what Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen did. They agreed through their lawyers, and they filed a private agreement that no one can see. So nobody knows anything. All right. Nobody knows how much Gisele is worth. Nobody knows how much Tom is worth. Nobody knows if somebody was abusing someone. Nobody knows what their custody arrangement is. Nobody knows anything. And that's the way you do it if you want to make sure that that the public doesn't. Or you can be Sergey Brin, who somehow has all of his documents sealed, even though they shouldn't be. But if you go to court, it's not a private matter anymore. Court is not a private matter. All right, the public owns the courts. Those judges.
And we talked about this on the show, Mike, about Elon. Elon's going to be in for the paternity case in New York, and New York has sealed documents for family court, but those are going to get out quicker than anything. Those are going to be public documents for everybody to see.
Right, and it shouldn't be a public matter, because people have a right to know what judges are doing in cases where kids are involved. People have a right to know how much judges give in child support. I followed Kevin Costner's, and I felt bad for Costner, because he didn't, because everybody knows. The only reason anybody was following him around and at every court hearing is because he's Kevin Costner. There's nothing. Right. There was nothing interesting about that case besides the fact that you have a famous actor. But it was important in the sense that it showed the public how they figure out child support payments and alimony payments and what's fair. And so, the downside is sometimes people, it's salacious and people's private lives that should be private get out. But the positive is the public has a right to know how judges deal with this. Look, if this was private, maybe that judge doesn't grant that motion. Maybe that judge does something else. How do you let me do all the talking?
I don't know. I don't know how I let you do all the talking, Mike. I listen. Sometimes when Mike's on a roll, he's on a roll. I'm not going to stop him,
Yeah.
It's like Animal House. Remember the Blutowski speech? It's like, and then we quit, and we throw in the towel when the Germans bomb Pearl Harbor. It's like, I just let him go. He's on a roll. That's just kind of.
It takes me back. We saw that 100 times at the Phi Kappa Psi House at the University of Illinois when I was there. Forget it. He's rolling. I once sent that to my friend. I was like, was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? It wasn't the Germans, it was the Japs. And of course it wasn't over. And I was like, I bet you said you were really smart. So where were we before we got off tangent?
Well, did you want to read, Mike, or what?
I think I read everything I wanted to read.
Everything you wanted to read? All right.
Oh,
everything?
Can we talk about, so I filed my bar complaint. We can read
that.
Oh, yeah.
Against Shockett.
Yeah. So Shockett sends his response to not just me, but I don't know why I was included. And his response is interesting. So it says, background, Mr. Volpe is not a client. I have never spoken to him. Despite requests from our office to him to cease contacting us, he continues.
When did he do that? Did he actually try to cease you from contacting him?
I'd have to check, but whatever. I don't know if he ever said, he's never responded to me, but I don't know. Anyway, he also called our office. I never said I was an attorney, he also called our office on February 14th, 2025 and said he was an attorney. I did not. His secretary mistook me for an attorney, but he knew who I was.
Scheduled you in the system and they had an appointment for you.
Yeah. This is their spin. But anyway, after this, he called our office on March 5th and stated he was an existing client. I did not. He made these misrepresentations in order to secure a telephone appointment with me just with you. Copies of these misrepresentations are available upon request. Mr. Volpe has nothing to do with this case. His response, there is no objective bad faith in taking Amanda Martin's deposition. And then he explains why he took Amanda Martin's deposition. And the only problem with that is I did not give him a disciplinary complaint about taking the deposition, though I did say in the complaint I thought it was bogus and that maybe they should look into investigating it. But he said that Amanda Martin was his client's victim advocate for his protective order in Ohio. And I said she works for Levy County, Florida, so she was not. So he decided not to answer my question. He answered a straw man. I responded to that and told the bar, I said, that's not what my complaint is about. He's not responding to my complaint. And if they let him get away with that, then he didn't even have to explain why and the misrepresentation, I think, was like I think it was an honest mistake, is I think the term. But when it was brought to his attention, he had a duty to fix it. And it's not that big a deal. The Bozo wouldn't have cared if, oh my God, you said Ohio, you meant Florida. Oh, big deal. But he didn't fix it. And I'm not saying he's got to get disbarred, but send him a strongly worded letter about how you have to be accurate. And if something is brought to your attention, you fix it.
It's about candor towards the tribunal. That's
right.
The issue. That's the statement. We have to be truthful in your statements to others as an attorney. And when you make a statement in a sworn document or something that goes to the court, you have to be truthful. And if you realize later on that you said something that was a misstatement, you have to correct it. That's a duty of candor and a duty to tell the truth. Most people think lawyers don't have a duty to tell the truth, but they do.
Theoretically. So he never answered or maybe he did. That happened. I don't know if maybe he responded back and he didn't include me on further emails. I haven't gotten anything from the bar, but in his first attempt, he didn't even try to explain himself. He wasn't being disciplined for filing a false, for doing the deposition, for like a bogus deposition. It was for that material misstatement. So we'll see how that unfolds, but that's dealing with Shockett, and all of that stuff is nonsense. I never said I was an attorney or a client, and I said he knows who I am, and he did. So
I think he's just as full of BS as his client is.
Right.
What's up, Robbie?
What's happening, everybody? Hello, Michael. Hello, Richard.
How are you?
Good. How are you, brother?
I'm doing okay. Can't complain.
There you go.
I got a litigation privilege. I can say whatever the hell I want.
Right.
Like I can say Jeremy Hales is an ass clown.
Hey, Rich, does he screw alligators?
No, he's an alligator fucker. That's what he is. No, he whips it out. The alligator.
Damn.
That's the thing. He gets all 2 inches in there, and he does what he's got to do.
Honey, Kathy Apple, it is a public record. It's already online. Okay?
What is?
So you know. And I'm not the one who posted it. However, everybody was talking about it. So I decided, okay, let's discuss. Thank you, Kathy. Go ahead. I was answering a comment. She thinks it's wrong to post pictures, but then it's also wrong to discuss their mental status.
What's wrong?
Wait, she thinks it's wrong to discuss whose mental status?
Put the comment up
here. I'll highlight it. Hold on. There it is.
So we can figure out how moronic it is. You say it is bad to post pictures of kids, which you are correct. But it's also very bad to post their mental status online for everyone to see.
Look, if the parents wanted that sealed or that part of the document not to be public, then they should have asked for it.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Number
2, Mike, what's the reason? What's the reason why the child has a mental status? What's the reason why the kid has a mental status? 2 words. Jeremy Hales. Jeremy Hales is the reason why the kid has a mental status.
But Jeremy had a high-priced lawyer. Look, in my custody case, I made sure that the medical records for my son were sealed. All right? So that's a duty to the parents. It's not that's not my problem. And I'm not violating HIPAA. And yeah, that's a really important part of the story, that Jeremy Hales caused both his kids to have PTSD because being his child is akin to going to war.
Well, exactly what this said, and I think it's important for everybody to know who they're dealing with. I mean, the child has a diagnosis, and it's due to being. That's exactly what it says in the order that was granted, the motion that was granted. Okay, that she has this diagnosis due to being spanked.
Both of
What?
them. Both.
Yes.
2 of his kids have the same diagnosis. Yeah.
Due to being spanked with bruises being left, witnessing her brother being abused and her mother being abused physically and mentally, and the reported abuser was her father. That is important. That's who you have to deal with. That's who you're dealing with Jeremy Hales. And watching him try and spin it and throw it on his ex-wife last night was sick.
Right. On Mother's Day.
On Mother's Day.
If
and
you
not only
need
that, I hope to God his son didn't see it.
How are you going to defend that?
Yeah.
He doesn't care that it's Mother's Day. He's willing to throw the mother of his children under the bus on Mother's Day.
Yeah. And we're supposed to believe him.
Because the basis for Christianity is the family unit. And you would think on Mother's Day, he would have a little respect for a family. You know, and he has got no respect at all. The guy's a narcissist.
Dude, come on. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You guys are saying respect for the family. He let his subscribers attack his son.
Yeah. It's
true.
Yeah.
And that's true, Granny. Jason said that his counselor felt it was healthy for him to address it. That's all. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, his son went and posted on YouTube saying that his father nearly drove him to suicide. So us revealing his diagnosis is not some big reveal. All right. He revealed a lot more on his own than we did.
Yeah.
Revealing the diagnosis. Yeah. But this is the kind of spin that astroturfers do. When there's a strong argument, what astroturfers do is they try to muddy the waters and get you arguing, like move you here when you should be looking here. And this is the kind of argument that this is like when I was pointing out that Megan accused Michelle of Munchausen, and a bunch of them started saying it's not really all Munchausen, and they get into this like esoteric debate about exactly what Munchausen is, and she's saying that Michelle is picking up an illness in her daughter, which is Munchausen. And the whole point is to get you arguing over this. So you're not focused on what's important, and that's an astroturf technique.
Yeah, totally true. But another point on Hales is that he's got no respect for family. He's ready to sue his sister's or his wife's sister. He's ready to sue
family don't matter, blood don't matter. He said that.
There's no sacred cows with him. I don't know how the guy can profess to be a Christian and at the same time hold an anti-family ideology, anti-family attitude.
What about love thy neighbor? I heard that was somewhere in the Bible. No, was I mistaken?
What about the 9th commandment?
No shots for me tonight. I'm being good. It's Monday night, guys. No shots. We'll do another shot day when I can.
Right. But his fans will stick up for all of this. They got an excuse for everything, and then they deflect. That's the other thing, and this is all deflection. The problem isn't that he put that he made both his kids have PTSD. The problem is that we released it, that we told the world that it's true. All right, that's the problem. Come on.
They're trying to take the focus away from the substantive issue. And the substantive issue is that Jeremy Hales is a very terrible abuser of children, of his ex-wife. He's a narcissist. He's a very dangerous person. And left to his own devices, he will hurt people. He will, and like you said, it's like war. It's like rape. It's like some of the worst conditions you can be. It's like being thrown into solitary confinement for weeks and weeks without on end. That is the type of brain damage that you get. The PTSD brain scans that they do, the SPECT scans that they do, will show it's the same type of damage. And that's how dangerous this man is. If you're exposed to him over a period of time and he has any modicum of control over you, he will harm you. You will be harmed by this person, in my opinion. Litigation privilege. Go fucker, alligator fucker. Go.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Apparently they're still putting pictures up or something.
Of your family?
Yep.
It's not the same thing. Do you understand? You have a mother. Everyone has a mother. Oh,
I have a mom, I have an aunt, I have a grandmother. Yeah. There's a picture. I know exactly where they're getting it from. So they think they're smart or whatever. Who cares? That's my mother, my grandmother, my aunt.
Who cares? That's not the same as pointing out that that court found that this guy's an abuser. And look, if he keeps going long enough, Michelle and John will have a form of PTSD called legal abuse syndrome, because that's who he is, and he doesn't stop, and he keeps putting pressure on you. And if the court allows him to do it, he won't stop. And
hey, Strictly. Yeah, that's fine. They want to do that, but you don't go putting up pictures of children that are under 18, and they did. And they're getting it off of Kendra's social media somehow, So have fun at it. This person does not know my family at all.
Right. Look, if Kendra put him on her social media, then it's fair game anyway. But I don't know what the big deal is.
Thank you, Mindy.
Right. Wow. You got photos of your mom and your aunt. Wow.
I show them. They're in the intro. I'm named after my grandmother, Lee. So, yeah. They're showing pictures of my grandma. I don't know. If they put a picture of my parents up, I have no idea. Someone just asked me if it was a picture of my parents, and there was a picture of a woman and a man. That's not my parents. I don't know if they put one up lately, but I'll show you one. I'm proud of my parents. I'm proud of my family. So, but using children is bullshit, if you ask me.
Right.
That's
all you're for. So, but look, that's not an effective response, and it's just not the same thing. But it looks like, we'll see how it goes, but the narrative over the last week has changed completely. And we're talking about all the things that Jeremy doesn't want to talk about. So,
that's my mom and dad.
If Megan and Tug are lying about this, it's easy to disprove, and it'll just.
That's what makes no sense to me, is that she even, you don't bother to look at the case. It's right there, dude. You don't even need the document. It says it.
That's basic journalism. I didn't do anything like spectacular by going on that website and pressing a few buttons and getting to his custody case. That's not hard.
Right.
How at risk is she? Look, abusers don't stop abusing. So there were definitely signs of abuse in that video where he threatened to sue her sister, but I'm not there. I don't know how at risk she is, but generally people like him don't stop.
Yeah, I agree. He's a dangerous person, and he's just about capable of anything. And he's going to get worse and worse and worse, because what he's doing is he's leveraging what he's doing. Instead of taking the loss and going away, he's leveraging it back into this court case. He started the new court case against all of us, except for you, Mike, but you'll probably be in soon. But then again, the fact is that he's pushing it, and at a certain point, he's going to crap out. And when he craps out, it's going to be dangerous for him, because he'll be a dangerous animal. He'll be in a corner, and that's when something terrible might happen. I pray to God that it doesn't, but he's the type of person that his psychological profile, in my opinion, is that he could do harm to himself or to others, and it's going to be a real problem. It's going to be like Hitler in the bunker at the end. That's what it's going to be like.
Right. He's going to feel like he's got nothing to lose, because it's all been taken away. But his subscribers are giving him all of this power. That's one reason why they don't want to believe that any of this is true. Because if you've given him money, you've given him fame, you've given him support, and it turns out he's an abuser, that's a hard pill to swallow. But better to swallow it now than to keep money in this guy. He's a psycho. You don't see that? He attacks Guapo. He attacks the one set of neighbors, John and Michelle. How many people does he sue? 9-year divorce. Both his kids have PTSD. This is like, you're having trouble putting 2 + 2 + 2. This is like, 2 to the 5th power. I mean, it's not that hard a math problem. Figure it out. But his supporters, they'll die. I remember think I saw something on social media where they're like, what does this have to do with the lawsuit? And I'm like, you don't see it? You don't see how an abuser goes from one form of abuse to another form of abuse? They don't see it.
He's marketed to a very specific audience that is not very educated.
Hodunk Hillbillies.
Hodunk Hillbillies. And the sad part is he's going to like mainly a Southern audience, and he's really a Yankee. He's from Ohio, and he's going to a Southern audience, and all that they know is that they love the Hatfields and the McCoys, and they love, you know, the legal stuff is like a shiny coin to them. You go the legal, ooh, you know, and so that's the problem that we got going on. He's a carnival barker.
They love the drama, but they don't understand the law. They think anything you say negative to Jeremy Hales is worthy of a lawsuit. They absolutely believe that if you say anything negative about him, you know, they're all, when we get together, wait till Jeremy sees there's so many lawsuits. Yeah, he can sue, folks. He can sue. Suing just means you have to file it properly.
What I found funny was he was stating last night how in this motion that, you know, his ex-wife put forward, okay, that people can lie in motions, you know. And I'm like,
except are they lying?
That, Jeremy? Have you?
Are they lying about the two? But are they lying about the psychologists? Is the lawyer lying about that? Yeah, people can and do. He's right, and I had a family court victim point this out. Just because it's an emotion doesn't mean it's true. But he's saying that two psychologists diagnosed these kids with these things as a result of the abuse of the psychologist, or maybe it was the same psychologist. Is the psychologist lying? Is the psychologist full of it? How did this psychologist come up with this diagnosis? Are you saying that both of these diagnoses are bad? And if you are, you have to give some evidence. Mm-hmm. We have a court document that document cites two different diagnoses. That's a lot stronger than trust me, bro.
Tug and Megan said they were paid liars. How would they know?
Right.
Where'd they get that from? Germ?
Right.
Who can listen to Tug for more than like 3 minutes?
I know.
God, his voice is so terrible. His
voice is annoying.
As J Hip's head. You know, J Hip's got the pear-shaped head.
Speaking of J Hip, can I read something from him?
J Hipster, yeah, go for J Hipster.
Boy.
So I gotta find it. So I sent a copy of that motion to. It was like a blind thing. A blind carbon copy of that motion to him.
If you look at J Hipster long enough, you do go blind. So
right. So
I do want to actually ask you a question. So when they're in a reunification process, since you guys know family law pretty well, are you required to go to certain classes and battle?
Where you are, Lisa.
Well, go ahead.
Okay. Where you are.
Go ahead.
It depends on where you are. There's something called reunification therapy. And in its worst form, they have reunification camps where it's basically like, if you know anything about the Paris Hilton stuff that she talks about, and then she just passed the bill at the end of last year to get rid of these shock scared straight camps where they kidnap the kids and bring them to like a boot camp. They can't do that anymore under federal law. Well, that's what these reunification camps are almost like. They take the kids and the court orders them to go to a camp. And they say, you haven't been with Parent X, but Parent X has a ton of money and basically paid the lawyer and paid for a report that says, I need reunification, radical reunification. So kidnap my kids and put them in a place where we can do whatever we want until they start talking to me. And there are 5 states now, Mike, in the union that have banned this type of therapy entirely because it's brutal. It's like torture. You're torturing kids. It's done to that way. Now, reunification therapy, it's several things. If it's regular family therapy and the courts order like some type of family therapy, that's one thing. But the reunification therapy, when it starts to get like the situation with it becomes radicalized, it becomes a tool of torture. And so.
The regular,
because he was trying to say that during all this, he went and he offered and went on his own to go to these classes and stuff for battered. I was like. I somehow doubt that. I think you were told you needed to do these things.
Taught how to not be an abuser. The regular outpatient, I call it, reunification therapy, in many ways is worse than the camps. That's what Amelia Martinez was forced to, because it's once a week for 2 hours, maybe 1 hour, maybe 3 hours, but it's prolonged. And so you have to, like, for a year and a half, and you want no part of it, and it never ends. So I don't know about classes, but usually they have the camps that are being banned, and that's this torture, 4-day torture, or these like 1 to 2 hour a week reunification therapy. But the therapy is misleading. It's that's not what it is. It's very coercive often. In multiple cases, when I talk to kids, they're reading off the court order. They'll say the court order says this. So if you want, unless you want your mom to be in contempt, you better do this. In multiple cases, they team up the abusive parent, the parent they're trying to reunify them with. So it's like the therapist and the parent and the child.
Well, so usually talk about the wealth dynamic, right? Because I'm sure that Jeremy had a lot more money than his ex-wife.
Right, and usually it's the wealthy parent pushing it. And as I said, it's almost always coerced. So there's no it's not therapy. Therapy is therapeutic. There's nothing coercive that can be therapeutic.
Right.
But so I sent that motion to Megan, Tug, a few other people, and Jason Hibsher, and he's the only one to respond. I'm going to read it in full, and then we'll talk about it. Good afternoon, Volmet. I don't know how you'd say it. Just an FYI, you do know that Bruce Matskin is a subscriber and paid member to my channel, right? Also, have you seen this Laura Owens girl being railroaded by the Maricopa County court system? You should really report on that as well. I suggest you hook up with David Gingras and begin a deep dive into that. Just thoughts, all the best, JJH. So that is his response to being let know that the guy that he worships is an abuser. He treats child abuse like it's a joke.
Yeah. Well, first off, the way he started that, I saw a screenshot of that. Bruce was gifted a membership. He didn't pay for a membership.
Right,
but as far as but for the rest of that, now Laura, that's the story that Megan covered. When Megan was on our show, we talked about it, and she interviewed another victim of Laura Owens. And I assume that's like some dig, like, you're so stupid, you probably think that she's being railroaded. But it's number one, it's deflection, but that's how you treat child abuse, Jay. You don't care about child abuse. It doesn't bother you that the guy you're fronting for, the guy you worship, abused his kids. It doesn't bother you. Yeah. And even like just mentioning that whole thing with just Bruce right there, it's like, what's that little lie for? What it's to fit your narrative, to make it look like something, something else that's not true. I don't get any of that. I don't get the little bullshit.
What does whether Bruce is subscribed to your channel or not have to do with Jeremy?
Exactly. Owens has no community of support. Everyone following it is on the same side. What Bruce said.
Wait, say again?
Oh, here, highlight it.
Owens has no community. Right. Well, I think that what he was doing was giving me a dig. Like, I'm so stupid, I would believe that she's being railroaded. Right. So, but that's how he treats child abuse. He was. I don't know. Maybe he already knew about that motion, but he was given a motion that shows the guy he worships is a child abuser, and he's like, "Oh, it's so
why do they not care that his children are affected by his whole being? Why do they not care that she can't even
Lisa, because it never happened. Their mother turned them against Jeremy. Come on.
Yeah. That's bullshit.
Right. That what he's describing there, what Robbie's describing as parental alienation, which I don't know if that's what happened in this case, but in most cases, when you're accused of abuse, the response is parental alienation. The mother turned the kid against me. And parental alienation is, in my opinion, very, very bogus. But I suspect
his parents have his parents see his children.
Right. Well, did they see him more than he sees him?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yep.
That's sad.
Oh,
they see Jeremy's parents all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
They're very close with Jeremy's parents.
Parents don't talk to him.
Jeremy's parents don't talk to Jeremy?
Correct.
No.
Ooh, that's something.
Jeremy doesn't talk to his parents, nor does he talk to his kids, nor does he talk to his ex-wife.
Nor does he talk
Nor
to his
does he
siblings.
talk to his siblings.
All of you fans, you don't see that as a problem? I mean, the people closest to him, the people who know him best, want nothing to do with it.
Come on, Michael. All those other people are the problem.
Right. Yeah, everybody's the problem. But Jeremy. Okay.
They won't fall in line.
All the Star Wars stuff. He was soliciting woo instead of his shit to get. Telling you, man, it's crazy. But if you follow the pattern of his life, I mean, so there's a no contact order that was put through, emergency no contact with his kids, right? So he doesn't see his kids. All right. Mm-hmm. His ex-girlfriend, 2 of his ex-girlfriends have protection orders against him. And then Michelle had a protection order against him that she voluntarily dismissed without prejudice because it's going to be redone, basically. And they just don't know.
And they don't see that as a pattern. And
yeah, that is absolutely a pattern.
And he's
the ex-girlfriend before George, that was a 5-year protection order. 5 years.
It's not
and
easy.
You know what he did? You know what he did the day it ended?
What did he do? He went and saw her?
He went and tried to contact her.
Right, yeah. Remarkable.
Just to let him know he was there.
Right. And they don't see the pattern. They don't see the pattern. But I think maybe we can get through to them.
Oh, did we talk about Al Bundy yet?
Oh yeah, Rich found out. He's so proud of this. Go ahead.
Oh, so the company that's suing us is called Elephant Shoe LLC. Okay, and so Elephant Shoe LLC. Every company when you go out there has a code, an NCIAC or NIAC code, and that tells you the type of business it is. So there's a code for trucking and different types of trucking, and there's a different code for like if you're a sandwich shop or everything else. His code is for a shoe store. He's a shoe retailer. Jeremy is basically Al Bundy. He sells women's shoes for a living. And so he's claiming that we're stopping him from selling women's shoes. That is what the lawsuit says in a nutshell. If you say at the end of the day we're engaged in trade practices or deceptive trade practices of the Florida law, or the federal law, of the Lanham Act, he's creating all these claims. The deceptive trade practice is hindering him from selling women's shoes. He's like Al Bundy. He goes to the store every day and he deals with women. That's
why you don't like fat chicks.
That's why you don't like fat chicks. That's exactly right. He's got to deal with them all day long like Al Bundy. So you can understand he's probably shell-shocked. I can understand the PTSD. He probably has it. So think about this. That his whole case is just it's so bad. Like when you look at what he's done, because I think that Sprockets said to him, look, we got to take this case and we got to show that there's a business concern that got hurt. And he's been trying to do this on his stream the other day. He said that the auction or whatever he was trying to do was not a success because of us, which that's not a success because nobody really cares about what he's doing because he's a douchebag.
Right.
But the real issue is, Sprockets told him to come in and the lawyer and amend the complaint and put the entity in. But that's the only entity he has. He's got that entity there, and it's like
he's got the Elephant Shoe, the DBA What the Hells, and he also has Hang Your Hat Homes, which is what all the properties are under.
Yeah, well, that's not a going concern business. We have the properties. That's that's not his media business. That's the thing. But it doesn't look like he changed the NAIC classification. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with it when we get to discovery. So this is gonna be a deal.
Well, he is harassing Michelle and John via Travis and Tubetown, which is on his property. He is spying on them with cameras on Tubetown property, which is his property that is owned by Hang Your Hat Homes.
Lisa, I told you yesterday what you got to do is you got to get the balloon launchers. You know the balloon launchers that you have? We have the bungee cord balloon launchers.
Yeah.
You fill up a few balloons with white paint. right onto the cameras, and then you don't see when anybody says anything, you say it's bird shit. You got plausible deniability the whole time. What do? You just launch a few. I've done that a few times. That's how you take care of those things. That's the best way to do it. What are they going to say?
Yeah.
Really,
he also has a camp counselor company that he's affiliated with.
Oh yeah, I want him to be my camp counselor. Holy shit!
But no, it's also he's listed as one of the employers in Finland. So.
If he was my camp counselor, I'd shove poison ivy up my ass to go home. You fucking kidding me?
Is it legal to use different names midway through the legal process? Yeah, like how did he get away with it being Jeremy Hales versus and then just adding these businesses?
He can do that. You can amend that way to bring in because it's an extension to him almost. He's not the same thing as him. It's a different legal entity. But because he's a legal person, he's a person, a natural person, and the Elvich is a legal person. But since he's the principal of that company, he can bring it in and say specifically the harm was to that company. He's got a problem in establishing harm. Bruce can talk all about this. Is that one of the things you really have to establish is that there was actually harm, in a case. So when you do something in law, and what his viewers don't understand is that. When you do a case, there's two parts to any civil case. When you're going for like a personal injury or for what's called a tort, like that. And that's a liability trial and a damages trial. You do two different trials. And so the first part is, are you liable? It's not guilty, like he says. There's no plea agreements or anything like that. Did you technically break the legal rule? And because of that legal rule, you have to pay somebody money. That's all it is. They didn't technically break a rule, and you can break a rule by just messing up, and being whoops, I screwed up, and so you're gonna have to pay somebody for that. In this case, it's intentional stuff that he's alleging, but it's fine. Imagine at the end of the day that everything is true. Let's say that everything he says is true about liability, meaning that we are all an ecosystem that got together, and we basically. Got together for the purpose of messing with him, and that's all we've done for the past whatever. That's all we do with our lives. We're pathetic people, even more pathetic than him. And so we're out there just to get Jeremy Hales. You have to figure out what the harm to him is. And at the end of the day, he's doing better now than he's ever done before. Right? So how can you go to a court with a straight face and ask the jury to say, award me millions of dollars in damages because people you hurt me, and then you come back and the other side we would say he's doing better than he ever was. Before he started, he was making this. Now he's making that. Now, and that's the other point is that we get to get his tax returns. I don't know if Preston and Cook got his tax returns in the other case, but 11th Circuit is very, very clear that you just need to make a minimal showing of relevance of the tax returns to the lawsuit, and in this case, it's going to reduce the damages award that he could get against us, or the damages claim he could get against us. We get to get his tax returns, and we get to get them pretty early on, and so that's the point. The tax returns themselves are something that we'll have it. There'll be a roadmap to a lot of stuff that he has. He has no idea that what those things show. That's why Trump fought so hard to keep his tax returns private. And so he's got two problems here. He's got two problems. One is that if he gives it out, there may very well be that information getting out, and his because he's a public figure, he's going to have very little protection. His other choice is he could try to do what's called a protective order, and try to say all the discovery that we have is covered under a protective order, right? And if he does that, then he can't use any of the discovery he gets to create media. So the content farm that he has in these lawsuits will dry up very, very quickly. So he's damned if he does and he's damned if he don't, because I'm going to ask him on day one in discovery for his tax returns. And once I get his tax returns, I'm going to know everything about him. I'm going to have that is the financial equivalent of a proctology exam. My head's going to be so far up his ass at that point, I'm going to know every crack, every crevice, everything that he has to do with his life. So. And he's not going to want that because I'm a very dangerous person with some tax returns. I have an advanced degree in taxation. People don't recognize that about me, but I know how to read a tax return as a Rosetta Stone, as a roadmap to figure out where you put it, where you've hit it, where you've done this, where you've done that. That's what I used to actually work in the Bahamas and the Cayman Islands for years. People don't know that about me.
Guapo.
Yeah, there you go. I know exactly how to read a tax return and tell you exactly what happened. So he's got a problem. And mark my words, Jeremy, you know, you can come any day you want and you could get on your knees and beg forgiveness. Any day. You just got to just go on there and go on your YouTube and just beg and say, Paint Chips, I was wrong. Paint Chips, you're my daddy. You're my big daddy, Paint Chips. And I will show you mercy, Jeremy. I'll show you. I'm so sorry to the Paint Chips because Paint Chips was right. And all I've been doing since
Paint Chips to say Paint Chips though.
He will keep the Paint Chips. I wanted to say Paint Chips. And say, ever since I started, now I realize that Paint Chips is going to get my tax returns, and my life is going to be terrible after he gets my tax returns. I may very well be going to the pokey. I may be going to federal prison. And, you know, what we'll do is we will send you a package over there. You know, we'll throw some money on your books in your commissary. Yeah, I'll send you some money for that, Jeremy, because you're probably going to go to the pokey. Because if I get your tax returns, that's all I got to say.
That's sad, Pebs. So Spades has a question. I have a question for Rich. To file a case against a police officer, what are the steps?
Well, the question is why you want to file a case against a police officer, right? Is it related to his duties as a police officer, right? And to a certain extent, officers have immunity. You know, you have different types of immunity, qualified immunity. But they have to actually do something pretty egregious. They have to do something outside of the bounds of their employment, outside of their training, outside of the...
They're not allowed to just hit you because they feel like it. Qualified immunity gives them a fair amount of leeway, but you know, if it was something they're trained and they're expected to follow their training. So if they violated your rights, you can sue them.
If they violated your rights, you have to sue the municipality because then you sue them, and you got to do it in federal court usually. You got to talk to a civil rights lawyer. That's really the best way to sue a cop. Is you get a civil rights lawyer. But if the cop said something to you, the cop was mean, the cop was
right, not for that. But if they hit you,
I got to know what the cop did. What did the cop try to do?
Look, I did a story about Lauren Hayden, and this cop engineered switching custody in effect, and took her Lauren into custody and put her in jail for a couple of months before she was released, and she won over $1 million. She still hasn't been paid. But it's absolutely possible to sue a cop and win. They qualify some leeway. You know, like if they're trying to arrest you and they hit you, you can't sue. But you know, if you're just standing there and they take their billy club,
and also if they get you in for like a false arrest and a false imprisonment, that they said that they were in for 2 weeks,
or if they
there's a lot of different bases why they can seize you, then they can grab you and all that stuff. It's got to be totally, they did totally wrong. If it was 100% right, it's a 1983 Act, Section 1983, Title 32 that they bring.
That's from a law passed by U.S. Grant.
Your buddy, huh?
Right, that was part of the Ku Klux Klan Act. But yeah, if the cop violated your civil rights, but yeah, it usually is a civil rights lawyer who would take it on. There's a guy out of West Virginia who's brilliant. If you're in West Virginia, call John Bryan. I almost never recommend lawyers, but that guy's won a lot of money for people, cops and other bad actors who violate your rights.
Dang. I'm getting ready to file something against Shark.
Why don't you explain that to us?
Well, what she's doing is she's using my logos and my artwork. She's also using my videos, and she's using it misleading people. She's trying to make it's like a false narrative. She used a part of a video where Tori was talking about she gave like an example as if she was talking to the judge, and Sarah went and took part of it, cut off the beginning, and made it sound like she talked to the judge and was saying ex parte communication. Like, so she's pulling the stupid crap, using my videos to do it, and it's totally misleading. But she's also using my logo. She got the Thule's logo in everything. She used the Royal Flush logo design that we had. Now it's not about Royal Flush; it's about the actual design of the logo. So I copied
copyright infringement.
What?
You sue for copyright infringement, trademark infringement.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna take it to federal court.
I'm not going to say what I'm doing at the moment.
I'm going to tell you something. All right. Federal court has jurisdiction over three basic things: admiralty, bankruptcy, and copyright, under which trademark falls. You have to bring her in federal court. You're in Florida, right, Lisa?
Yep.
Yeah. And where does she live?
Jersey.
In New Jersey. So you're going to have to bring her in the District of New Jersey. So you have to sue her in New Jersey because she's got no minimum contacts to Florida. So you're gonna have to sue her in federal court in Jersey. I've actually been to the federal court in Jersey, Newark. I actually done cases in that courthouse, and it's really nice actually because it's right down the block from the Ironbound district, which is the old Portuguese portion of town. So you get a good lunch, but the problem is if you stay there too late, you get shot because it's Newark.
I hear you. But yeah, so that's going down real soon. So she thinks, because she's a journalist, which I don't know where her publications are, honestly, except for YouTube. And the only place,
she says she's a photographic journalist.
Yeah. Well, she's been on something for 2 years and never said a dang word until all of a sudden we start talking about it. All of a sudden she's, publicized somewhere, and she's flipped to Jeremy's side, and she was scared shit of him to begin with anyway, crying about having to be forced to come down to Florida and all this other crap. But she's literally caused an issue now, and I have a feeling she's the first one to get sued over it, because all these people are thinking that they're able to do and say all these things, and she's literally defaming me by lying about me and using my work, my artwork, my, Thule's logos, everything. And she's really misleading people and lying about the entire situation. And I have proof of all of it, because I know when I stepped onto the game here, you know what I mean? And her timeline's completely off, and I'm just not going to allow her to get away with it, because the thing is, all these people are getting away with this. They're getting away with all the stuff that they're doing. These minions, the Hodunk hillbillies, all of them. And just like Germ getting away with it for 2 years, because nobody did anything to go against him. Nobody came forward and said anything and tried to stop him on a certain level. You know what I mean? I believe that, she wanted to keep doing it, thinking she was going to get away with using logos and people's work, and she can't. So I figured, let's just go. She re-uploaded the video and retracted some of the stuff, but she's still using the same video, misleading.
Now, Lisa, when you say she retracted, did she did she
retract the logo?
Right, but did she say that I took these logos unfairly?
No, she just
so she stopped using the logo.
She stopped using them. She crossed them off, marked them out.
A retraction part of it is
right. Well, she'll say I was wrong or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, she didn't say any of that. She just re-uploaded a video without the thumbnail being, my character logo. And she blocked out where it would say Thule's or whatever, but she still kept the video in there with our voices.
Right.
And it's absolutely misleading, so if you're not going to use it the way it's done, then don't use it,
Right. Well,
so you want to misquote, then, because that's ex parte communication. She's trying to put that out there. I don't think so. I'll go and I'll play the whole damn thing, and I'll show the difference in the context. And that's what she does. She's done that with everybody, even with all the conversations that she showed with her and Bruce. She's deleted her part and left it make it look a certain way, and totally took the context out of all of it with her and him, him and Michelle, her and Michelle. she takes the
She
context
doesn't
out.
want people to see that she was sympathetic to all of this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, or telling she tries to paint herself as a Snow White, and she's basically telling everybody to F off all the
She
time.
is a very manipulative person. She ingratiated herself to Bruce, to John, and Michelle, and then was able to get all of this like incriminating, if you will, evidence, and then used it by turning on them. She's slimy, the lowest of the low. On top of that, you ask her a question, she answers it with a question. But she ingratiated herself to people, got them to trust her, and then turned on them. Why would anyone have anything to do with her?
Exactly. So I'm not going to let, these people keep getting away with all this stuff. Fair use is one thing. I get the whole fair use thing. But when you're using it in a false narrative like that, But I copyright struck her on the logo, the actual artwork. That's what I did. So I'm going to follow through with it. So.
All right. Well, good luck with it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. We'll see. Of everything going on with everything, that seems like maybe not the best battle to pick. There's been so much other more messed up stuff I'd want to sue for. Yeah, well, that's just Shara.
Right.
That's just Shara. So hold on, what's that? Oh, another one? Hold on. I just saw that. Hold on. Oh my God. Let me show this. Hold on. We got another video to show here. Hold on.
Can you set this up?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
This is a video that I found, litigation privileged, of Jeremy Hales. So this is actually an official video of Jeremy Hales. We may get sued for his image and likeness in this video. George might sue us too. I'm taking full responsibility for everything that's going to happen in the next few seconds. Because I believe that, in my opinion, this is Jeremy Hales and how he conducts himself in his normal affairs. And he probably will sue me for name, image, and likeness. So, nope, you can go ahead, Lisa, with that setup.
Alrighty, here we go. Wait, I gotta hit play.
Got some mating alligators here. Before documenting.
Look at Jeremy. He looks just like him.
Robbie, you see this?
No, hold on. It's got to catch up to my TV.
Oh.
Yep, we're gonna get sued. We're using Jeremy's name, image, and likeness. He's an alligator fucker. Everybody knows.
Hold on.
Oh my God!
It's true, when you are what you are, it's what you are. You're an alligator fucker. And so, we're bringing truth to the fact that Jeremy Hales is an alligator fucker.
Right.
So that's what it is.
Hey.
All right, wait. It just came on.
If you weren't following, that was what's called satire.
Oh, you can't sue
Oh
people for
my
that,
God.
Michael went to a better law school than Randy Shockett was.
Executed even better than one Larry Flint.
That's right.
But he died for all our sins. Because of him, anyone can satirize anyone else, and you can sue. You'll lose, but you will lose if you try to sue for satire.
Misleading information is not the same. That's great. Thank you, Kevin. Robbie, if he gets near your gators, for God's sake, shake those eggs.
Speaking of, you remember when they fact checked the Babylon Bee?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, that was great. They were fact checking a satire site. They were like, even though this is satire, this might be misleading, and people don't realize it's satire.
It's crazy. Have you guys ever been involved in a copyright lawsuit?
I have a good story about copyright. When one of the first stories I did, this guy Chris Mackney, he killed himself and put his suicide note online, and it wasn't very nice to his ex-wife Dina Mackney. And you know what she did after he died? She went and got a copyright, and she almost got away with it, but she gets a copyright from a state judge, and as Rich pointed out, it's not really technically allowed, but there was probably shenanigans. So she takes this copyright notice and starts sending it out to get everyone to remove the suicide note. But a Voice for Men, this father's rights website, said, screw you, and republished the suicide note. And it got so much coverage that within a day, like 100 people were posting it everywhere. It was on like 20. If you do Chris Mackney's suicide note in YouTube search or Google search, you'll find a bunch of them. And there was like a woman reading it, and men would read it. And so it blew up in her face, but she actually copyrighted a suicide note, if you can believe that. That's probably the closest I've come to. The other one is, speaking of Amelia Martinez, so Amelia secretly, that's the 16-year-old I interviewed. So she secretly recorded her quack reunification therapist, Norma Jo Bax, twice. And she gave me the recordings, and I released them, and we played them in the interview. And Norma somehow convinced YouTube that she has her sessions copyrighted, and YouTube bought it and removed the videos. I did post them elsewhere, but YouTube's actually pretty good about this stuff most of the time. But I don't know how this woman convinced YouTube that her sessions are copyrighted, but YouTube told me, no, she has a copyright. You have to remove them. So that's why I don't think I have been involved in a copyright lawsuit, but that's probably the two closest brushes with copyright that I had.
Copyright is like a for real thing, and it's a very technical area of law. It's a difficult area of law, and the only reason why you'd bring a lawsuit like that is if there's a lot of money to be had. And so, you know, that's the thing. You know, you don't get a lot of these copyright lawsuits unless you're a real big media defendant. And
I have a family member at the U.S. Patent Office, and then I can go through. Go ahead.
I also know my favorite band, Pink Floyd. They're like sharks. If you play, they count the seconds on their music, and if you go past a certain amount, they'll go after you. It's not their most attractive quality, but I know that Pink Floyd in particular protects their copyright like militantly. Yeah. Others don't care that much, and you know,
Guess does.
Right. Different. Look, it's theirs. I know. I recorded part of their concert and put it on YouTube, and YouTube removed it. And it was Pink Floyd was like, you know, I couldn't believe that Pink Floyd noticed, but they are militant about their copyright.
Right. Well, you can also go through actually the U.S. Copyright Office and file something there too. Rich is looking like, yeah. So that's why there's three different ways to go about what I'm going to do. I could choose to do something else.
Hey, if she's in Jersey, I got a bunch of people you can call up. Most of them don't have any names.
But something's definitely being done this week, so that's all I know. You know. But
there's a nice little pig farm in the Poconos if you need the number.
You
can go take it south down to the Pine Barrens. That's a good spot too. You know where the Pine Barrens are, right? New Jersey. You remember the Sopranos episode when Christopher and Paulie Walnuts are in the woods in the van?
Oh yeah,
that's the Pine Barrens. That's the middle of nowhere. That's like where the New Jersey Devil is. If you're going from New York City and you're driving down the Garden State Parkway to get to Atlantic City, you got about 30 miles of Pine Barrens that you got to go through. There's nothing there. And that's where, if you want to get rid of something, that's where you get rid of something. In that area.
That's where they were killing like the Serbian guy, right?
No, it was a Chechnyan.
Chechenian. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and the best, that was one of the best lines in the whole show. They said, you know, he was a Czech, he was a Russian special forces. He was Spetsnaz. He killed 20 Czechoslovakians. Like, he was an interior decorator. It's like, really? His house looked like shit. You know, something like the best line. Best line.
No, that was when Paulie's like, my toe, it's gonna come off. He
And
starts
the little ketchup packet. That was a hilarious episode.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Rich, are you familiar with a place called Sprats?
Sprats?
Uh-huh.
What is that?
It was a club.
Yeah. What town?
It was actually in Long Beach.
Long Beach, Sprats.
Why would Rich? Is he just such a?
Sure, because I'm from Staten Island. We would always go down to the show. I was really at Belmont more than any place else. Like, where else would I go? I was in Belmont in the north, in the Staten Island, in the New York side of the shore. Down south, I would be like at Margate and Longport in the Philly side. But
okay.
And I did a few like Bar A. I was at like the Classic Place and a few others. I think I haven't been there in a while. So. Who knows?
I just figured I'd ask. Being that you do Pan American
there, the Bordy Barn out there in the Hamptons. That place was great for years. God.
I was trying to figure out your age bracket.
Yeah, there you
go. Oh my God, amazing times, man. I miss New York so bad.
I don't think I can go back. I think they got shoot on site orders for me.
I used to do the Limelight and CBGBs and stuff.
Oh, I was in the Limelight. I remember the Limelight. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
The Limelight was this club. They had a club in New York. It was like an old decommissioned church, and it was this club. It was
the church.
Limelight.
Yeah, the Limelight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one in London too. I was at the one in London. The one in London wasn't so bad. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Silverheart. I didn't say when yeah. So we're actually going to be, Bruce and I are actually going to be on Legally Leslie tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
We're actually doing an interview with her tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I love Leslie.
So you want me to give you some background on Leslie?
Sure.
So she was a lawyer in Florida, and she made a name for herself because at the time I knew her, she freed 6 people from guardianship. But she told me that actually the number got to 11. If you free more than 1, you're an A. 6 is like a legend in that world. If you get stuck in guardianship, where Britney Spears was called conservatorship, but they just used a different name in California.
Right.
She was freed. Now, she's a lot younger, but it's very rare. Once you're deemed incapacitated, you don't get out. But on top of that, she started doing divorce and custody, and she did this one for a guy named Gabe Shapiro, and Gabe's family started JPay. If you got anybody in prison, they probably use JPay for communications.
I can't hear.
Can you hear? Oh, yes.
Yeah,
So his ex-wife's lawyer was a woman named Dory Foster Morales, who was the outgoing president of the Florida bar. And soon after taking her on in the divorce, she started getting bar complaints for things like billing issues. So very similar to Bruce. So I put her in a story about whistleblowing lawyers. But she eventually had to retire because they wanted her license bad. And we can't prove that Dory put like the hit out on her or sent out a memo, but the timing is quite coincidental. That right after she got into this very heated custody case with the outgoing president of the Florida bar, she's got bar complaints from the same Florida bar. So she was a really good lawyer, but they ran her out of the industry.
So Mindy asked if they were still trying to serve me in Staten Island. I think they'd have a hard time to get me in Staten Island.
They're close to the 90-day limit on the other lawsuit. Lisa, have you been served yet?
I have.
You have been served. Okay.
I have been served. Yep, on Saturday.
So right
And
under
that's what it was, because I had a process server who was trying to serve at a relative's house of mine, and my relatives are all slick. So depending on which one you go to, you're either going to get shot or you're going to get nothing. You're not going to get the process server. And like my dad, they tried to do. Remember Bierman, Mike? With this firm in Chicago, they tried to do something with my dad. My dad's like almost 80 years old. He's standing by his door with his Glock. He's sitting there on his rocking chair with his Glock, just waiting for him. Come on by, come get me. Because they doxed him. They put his address on the internet trying to fuck with me. And so they put my father's address, who lives up, he lives in Florida too. But he lives no address that was connected to me. They put his address. And so my dad, don't worry, let him come by, boy. We got the castle doctrine in Florida. I'll take him out. And so these idiots are going to come around. I feel bad for the process server that's stupid enough to take the case. But I got pictures of the guy that was there. And so that was probably these idiots trying to serve me. That's who it was. So if you got served already, then Schmucko was trying to serve me. I have like 3 or 4 people that are trying to serve me and stuff. And they never do. Well, it's like the cops trying to serve me. They're morons. They really are.
They didn't serve me. It was a girl that came up. What happened was they knocked on the door, Gabe answered it, and they just said, "Oh, I can give this to you." And they just gave it to him. So
that's not proper service.
Right.
That's what they did.
No,
you could basically move to dismiss and say that they didn't serve you properly.
Right.
Again?
Yeah, service is it's archaic. We should come up with a better process, but basically service, they got to show through the affidavit, prove, but I guess under penalty that the person who had the documents gave them to you, or if it's like or your lawyer, but if it's like the beginning of the case, you don't have a lawyer, but you can't give it to someone else, because how do you know that
the law of the jurisdiction says that you can, but in federal court usually you have to serve them in person, in hand, unless they have somebody. What they try to do is suitable age and discretion. That's only somebody accepted service. But what you have to say to yourself is, no, they didn't accept service, and that you weren't properly served. So
she walked up, she took a picture of the house, and then went to the door, I guess, because I went and checked the cameras after the fact. Gabe came in and said, "Someone just brought papers here for you," and I'm like, "Huh?" I was asleep, and
that was totally. It was totally Hales trying to serve on like somebody was by on Friday, and my relative asked me if they wanted me to take care of them, and I'm like, no, just let's keep it easy for now, because it wasn't the process server's fault that whoever hired him was an asshole.
Right.
So, yeah. So all right, I want to see what they do. Because it's going to be 90 days. I don't think they're going to get me. But I'm probably going to answer it. I'll give them the 90th day and I'll answer their lawsuit, because I really want to get them. Actually, no, I'm going to answer before that. We'll see. I'll time it the right way. What is it? It's May.
Yeah, they would have had to the 26th to serve me, so they went and did that. But to me, I feel like I wasn't served. Nobody came up to me, handed me anything, but whatever.
Right.
I would answer with that. Because you put a motion to dismiss, but at the same time, you could put in your motion to strike as well, and a motion for a more definite statement. You could do a lot of stuff if you want to go the motion route. There's like 50.
Well, not only that, my real name's not even on there.
Right. You can do. What is that? A motion to clarify? If her real name's not on there?
You can do a Rule 8, Rule 9 motion. Yeah, you have plenty of.
Yeah, and it's just funny how he keeps doing it, but whatever. He's
a friggin' idiot. So what do you expect?
I mean, it's Deuce's anti what the hell's ecosystem. It's Lisa's or Week's conspiracy. It's like it's bullshit.
Right.
He's back to Deuce's thing. It's a whole bunch of bullshit.
So. And the whole thing amounts to you put people on the air to talk about him, and that's the conspiracy. The conspiracy, according to their lawsuit, is you do this show and then you invite guests on the show. And that proves that everyone's in the conspiracy.
Right.
No, it proves that you are suing everybody on here.
According to the lawsuit, it does.
He's the one that brought us all together. You know,
I'll tell you what we have. I'll tell you exactly what the defenses are. I wrote this out like about a week and a half ago. There's Rule 8A, which is a failure to plead with sufficient specificity, and they already did that already. It's called a short and plain statement of the claim, and it has to give fair notice, and they don't do that. And then there's something else called Rule 8D, which is impermissible group pleading, where you put a whole group of defendants together, and it's impossible to discern what the conduct is from one as opposed to the other, and what's attributable to what party and what's not. And so that's the simple, concise, direct as well. Then the third part about pleading under Rule 8 is what we talked about before, is the shotgun pleading.
right?
And the classic shotgun pleading it's the same thing. It's impossible to discern what's there. Then
Right.
there's another couple of stuff. There's a rule under Rule 11. If you have a Rule 11B1 is when you have an improper purpose to the lawsuit. So if it's filed solely to harass, to cause unnecessary delay, increase costs, to punish protected speech, improper use of judicial process, that would be 11B1, improper purpose. That will be sanctions. Or 11B2, when you have a frivolous contentions, that's what you'll have there. And 11B3 is evidentiary support. And I'm going to probably answer with all of those, even though they're not specifically, affirmative defenses. You'll still include them there so you can sanction the shit out of them. But then
Right.
the 12 defenses are there. And when you have the real big ones are there's a subject matter jurisdiction, and so if they have to show what's called an injury in fact, right? And so I'll raise what's called a standing issue. So that's going to be the first issue, that they haven't demonstrated standing or injuries attributable to me at all that are cognizable, meaning that there's injuries that they can recover on. I'm also going to probably talk about failure to state a claim, which is 12B6, and that's when they say something that even if you take everything they said is true, then they still don't say something that they get relief upon. And then I'd probably do a Rule 12F in there. That would be to strike scandalous or redundant material. I'd reserve in that, and then I have to do a separate motion after that with the 12F for that stuff. So those are some of the offenses, the defenses that you could have, but or the rule stuff. But the big thing is that there's the big, and Michael and I've talked about this before. The big thing is truth and opinion and rhetorical hyperbole. Those are probably the two biggest things about the statements that Hales say are actionable. And even though he casts it as a Lanham Act and a Florida trade practices, there's an absence of commercial speech here. What's here is commercial in nature. It's not commercial speech. It is more performative speech. It doesn't fall under what's subject to the Lanham Act. It doesn't fall under what is that the legislator in Florida or the Congress ever intended. But the big granddaddy of what I'm going to do to these people, to Jeremy Hales and his crew, is going to be a slap lawsuit.
Absolutely.
And that claim is a strategic lawsuit against public participation. And Florida, has a statute, and that's, I think, 768 something or other over there. That is, you can basically take them out pretty early on with an anti-slap. You have to have a hearing pretty early on. They have to kind of show and tell what they have. But that's under the state law, so I'm going to bring that as a substantive claim in federal court. We'll see what we can do with that. We'll take it from there. I've done my research on the case already, so I'm not too worried about him. My question is if I'm going to try to bring other people in on the case as well. So we'll see.
Mindy, no, I have not been served.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, he's running out of time. It's getting close to the 90 days.
It was for me. That would have been the 26th.
Right.
So
he's getting close. I think he doesn't have Dave's he definitely doesn't have Ray's address. So some people I don't think are going to be served because he doesn't know where they even
live. But it's not too hard to do that, because what you can do is, I'll tell you, I don't know if I should say it because I don't think Shotgun's smart enough to figure it out. But what you normally do in a situation like that is you would commence a different lawsuit under a different claim number, and you pay the fee again, and you'd put in all the people that you didn't get because the statute of limitations hasn't run. And so let's say he misses Ray and he misses me and he misses like 2 or 3 other people. And so that case goes up forward with like 6 defendants. He can take the other 4 defendants, make a new lawsuit, add you, Mike Volpe, add anybody else he wants, and then do what's called a motion to consolidate the lawsuits.
Okay.
And so he'll get a new 90 days to serve everybody again.
All right.
That's a smart way to do it, but I don't think they're smart enough to figure that out. They're not smart people.
They might have figured it out now, but he's still he didn't change his lawsuit very much, despite being warned by the judge that it was a shotgun pleading. So
how many counts are there anyway?
I don't know, but I know that I'm being hit with revenge porn.
We're showing a photo of Megan and a photo of Hales in a somewhat compromising position, though actually you leave it to your imagination whether they're doing anything sexual. It's not
right.
even
Mike, it's you who has the dirty mind.
Right, yeah. But
I thought she was looking for change on the floor of his car. So I thought she
was. Yeah, maybe she was. We don't know. So anyway, these people don't know what revenge porn is, but what can you do?
Well, that whole big packet is literally like images of the videos on my channel, right? And I'm saying to myself, I have never defamed him. I've never thrown something out there maliciously or intentionally that was false, right?
It's almost impossible to defame Jeremy Hales because with a public figure,
right?
It's such a high standard.
Yeah, and it's like when I came onto this whole thing, is literally like every time he goes out there and puts a video out, I'm coming right back at him because I'm telling the truth.
And the place to decide this is YouTube, but he doesn't. He does want to decide it on YouTube, but he also wants to sue because that gives him more content.
That gives him content.
If you say something he doesn't like, he's got a YouTube channel to fire back, and that's the right way to do it. That's the healthy way to do it. That's the American way to do it. But he doesn't want to do it the healthy and right American way. So he wants to sue. He's got a subscriber base of 750,000. He wants to tell the court that he can't right or wrong with his subscriber base. He's got to sue.
We're competitors.
Dave's got 2,000 subscribers. If Milltown Best says something that he doesn't like, he can't just answer it on his channel. He's got to sue. It's ridiculous.
Right. I don't know. I just think it's this is all pretty funny.
Right.
It's a circus. It's just that's all it is.
I just can't believe that the judge, like Belitho, has even let the first case go on. I mean, to me, that's a freaking nightmare. And John already filed his summary judgment, but obviously it was during the stay, so it was stricken. So he's just going to refile it. And I mean, at that point, what's there? What is there? The comment that John made about him saying, I'm going to show you the picture. That's it.
There's nothing against John because their expert says that all the signs that they believe were written by Michelle. So
right.
John for sure should be dismissed from the lawsuit. We've argued about the other thing. But listen, Lisa, I got to get going. This is
I'm turning into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I'm like the Hulk. Only when I get tired. You don't want to see me when I'm tired. All right, guys, have a good night. Talk to you later.
Good night, Mike. Thanks for coming on.
Good night, guys. I'll talk to you later as well.
Good night, Richard.
Where are you going, Rich?
I gotta like things. I gotta get to bed.
Listen, shut up. You ain't that old.
I feel it, man. Are you kidding me? No.
Dude, are you kidding me? I'm on call for Gator calls all night.
Okay. I realize I wake up normally every day about 4:35 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
That's because I'm a media guy. Because I wake up. I've already been looking like what I want to publish tomorrow, but that's when I get the media cycle kind of starts. Then that's when you start kind of getting the idea what's going to be out in the media cycle. And I have stuff that I publish that's not necessarily media cycle stuff, that's other features and whatnot. Well, that's one thing. But if I want to get on top of something in the morning now, like tomorrow I might put out, and it's today now, it's already 12 o'clock, I might put out something about Trump and the Bobby Kennedy and the whole executive order yesterday for the Mets, where everything we got. That's what I'm thinking about putting out for tomorrow, because I think that's the biggest news we've had in a long time. So it's not about talking about yesterday, China, but the idea that we're going to have to pay more than any other country, we're going to get most favored nation status. That is something that's, I think it's so groundbreaking, because you get people that are like totally on the left, like Bernie got people. And Kennedy even said it. His kids are like Bernie bots. And they were like in tears that this happened, because this is just common sense. And then on the right, you have all the Trump people, the MAGA people that like it too. And the only people that were making any money off this was the pharmaceutical companies. But at the end of the day, they can make the same money by shifting it over to all the foreign countries that haven't been paying, and make them pay their fair share. This is kind of what Trump did with NATO, right? Where he turned around and he said, everybody's got to pay for defense. We're not paying everybody's bills anymore. Well, we were paying everybody's bills for R&D. And if you're on the left or you're on the right, you recognize, why are we paying more? Because we're Americans. We should be paying our fair share. We don't mind paying what we're going to pay for, but we don't have to pay more than everybody else. That's just what it is. So I might write about that, and I got some video from that, from the Oval Office, or from the White House thing. But then I'll have to see what else is in the news, because there's the big thing. Other big story right now is the Diddy case.
Hey, Rich, I got a question for you. Rich, okay, if they come to serve me and I'm in the Gator Marsh up in a tree, they have to come in the Gator Marsh to serve me, right?
Yeah, we got to get you. Sick of
I'll just be on the island, climb up a tree. Come out here, give it to me.
Yeah. You know what it is, man? You know what it is? 6 pieces, right? You just got to cut the body into 6 pieces.
Oh my gosh.
Everything else.
I got 600 in there. I don't even have to cut to 6 pieces.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. Wow. See, I don't know. I don't have a link yet, but I think what we're doing for tomorrow, for this, the interview on Legally Leslie, is we're actually going to share it on my channel as well. So I think that's why I don't necessarily need one. I'll find out more in the morning, but if I don't get the link by the time I sign off, what I'll do is I'll post it on my, the post page, the community page, which is no longer called community. It's called posts. So I'll post it up there to let everybody know what the link is, because Bruce and I are going to be on Legally Leslie at 10 a.m. in the morning. So should be fun.
All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to bed.
All right. Good night,
Rich.
Good night.
God bless, bro.
Bye. Robbie!
What's happening?
What is happening? 444, good number. It's a good number there. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy.
This
Can you
is
believe
just
this?
crazy.
What's everyone's opinions on Trump wanting to fix up Alcatraz? Oh, I don't know. I don't get political.
I don't have an opinion on it. Hey, Jennifer W. There's a lot of things that are going on that I agree with. There's a lot of things that are going on that I disagree with. So it's no matter who's in there, you're going to have good points and you're going to have bad points. And it doesn't help to fight about political stance, because no matter who's in there, there's going to be good, there's going to be bad. So,
Robbie, you can talk to the chat for a minute. I've got to go to the ladies' room.
Okay, go to the potty. So that's why I don't even bother to deal with that. It's like there's a lot of things that I loved about Biden, what he was talking about doing, but the sad thing, he didn't do it. And Trump does the same thing, and then he didn't do it. We'll see what he does this time and what he doesn't do, Thank God, Tammy, I didn't have any gator calls last night. This has been crazy. Opening of Alcatraz, I think you would have to spend too much money to get it back in working order, is my opinion. Lorene, we're waiting. I'm on call. We had too many calls this past week that I was doing other stuff I couldn't go on, so other people had to go on, so I am on call all week.
All right.
It's just crazy, you know. It's
Should I tell everybody what you wanted me to do to Gabe?
oh my God. I think you should do it. And everybody, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I can't.
Right, let me explain. You guys saw the unit that Lisa got with the fake voodoo doll, the one that you buy in the airport.
Right.
I told her.
Well, maybe not because of Tori. I was on Tori's when I was showing the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Some people might.
All right. Some of you know this. It's a voodoo doll you buy in the airport. It's like a joke thing. It's the red one with all the circles, and it says what is what is what.
Right.
Yes, Mindy, I'm getting more calls this year than the last 5 years. But I told her when Gabe falls asleep, go put it in his arm like he's cuddling it, and just walk out of the bedroom. What do you guys say?
Wait, no,
Gabe is scared to death of this stuff.
No. Okay, so I was going through, like, because, you know, trash goes out, so I was trying to get rid of a lot of the stuff that was being tossed from the unit and stuff. And so I came across that bin with all the witchy stuff in there, right? So I'm like, all right, let me go through this. Let me go through this. So I'm saging everything. I'm pulling everything out. I'm saging it all, throwing crap out. And I come across the voodoo doll. One is open, right? But there's another one in a box. So I saged it and everything. And it's literally like a dollar store type thing. It's like a joke. It's not real, you know?
They sell them at the airport.
Yeah. So he comes out and he comes over to it. He goes, what is that? And he sees the black box. He goes, oh man, I don't want to touch any of that. And he goes, is that a fucking voodoo doll? I said, yeah. He goes,
100%, Hannah.
Oh no. And he walks away. He goes, I'm like, dude, it's a dollar store. He goes, nope. I'm like, okay.
So I told Lisa to go put it in his arm when he's sleeping.
I start cracking up because I'm like, you don't understand. He's gonna jump up like chaos, seeing a cucumber or something, like a cat. Jump up in the air away from that thing.
If you guys think she should do it, put a 1 in the chat.
I can't.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think she should do it.
No, that's me.
That would be so funny. Oh, come on.
Yeah, but if you don't understand, that's him coming out of his sleep. And
that'd be funny. He's going to be asleep.
And I might miss the whole thing.
Oh, my God. We got ones everywhere.
It would only be fun if I was filming it. I mean, I would get a kick out of it.
Oh, my God. There you go.
I'm laughing just thinking about it, but no.
Lisa, go put it in the passenger seat in his truck. And put the seatbelt on it. Oh, my God. That would be great.
Oh, Robbie, you're bad.
You know?
And I thought I was bad with my siblings and Kendra trying to scare
my wife would do that to me.
Oh my God. Right that way he's awake at least.
Yeah. My wife would do something like that to me if I were scared of that.
No. Put it on your pillow. you were hiding behind the door.
Oh, trust me, my wife gets so mad. She's like, "You're not scared of anything. It's not fair."
Well, actually, what happened, John Caps, is I was saging everything, and he came out. He's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "It's sage." He's like, "Oh," and then he saw what I was doing, so he's like, "Ugh," like he doesn't like that crap. If he knows if I'm saging something, that something's wrong with it. That's it. Put it on the back of the toilet.
No, just put it in his truck so it goes to work with him.
Actually, what would happen is in the morning he takes Jules would get it, and she'd stop playing with it. He probably wouldn't grab it out of her mouth. He won't even touch it. But he'd want to so bad because he wouldn't want her to touch it either. Set it on the seat of his truck.
That's what I say. Set it on the seat of his truck. At least he's awake then, and you're not being mean.
I still think it's me. Well, yeah, that okay. It wouldn't be mean if I did that. It would just be funny.
Yeah.
But doing it in his sleep, I literally just picture him jumping up out of the bed like a cat would. You know what I mean? When he gets
I vote for you put it in his arms in his sleep, and then he's gonna go, "What the hell? What the fuck?" And you're gonna go, "Dude, I don't know how it must have walked in there."
I didn't do that. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Just oh man, I don't have to do it. I'm already having fun with it. Yeah.
See, but that stuff me and my wife would do.
You out. I'm gonna tell him that you're trying to make me do this to him.
Go ahead. I don't care. And I'll just tell him, dude, it would have been funny as hell you waking up with that in your arms.
Yeah, that's not funny. He would have freaked. I could just see him like, "What the hell is this?" And then, wow, throwing it.
Yeah, you got to put a GoPro on a tripod so it films the whole thing, though.
Yeah, I have a GoPro. Lisa Bully Exterminator has a new video. Did I? Oh my gosh. Hold on. I just was on here. Oh, here it is. Oh,
you know,
please.
I think it would be funny.
Let's see. Bully Exterminator. I can't believe Megan was literally trying to say that was denied. It was not denied. It was actually granted, dingbat. Hold on.
You know, that's how my wife and I are. We play jokes on each other all the time.
Yeah, I look, I play jokes on Gabe too, and he would love to do it to me. But waking him up out of his sleep like that, and he's really, that against it, that would freak him out and give him a heart attack.
My wife just gets pissed off because I'm not scared of anything. She's like, "It's no fair.
Oh my God.
Have all this stuff in your office and that doesn't even creep you out."
The reign of Hales Army and Hales and the Hodunk Hillbillies. You want to watch it?
Go ahead, put it up. Can you do it without getting copywritten?
I didn't get any copyright on it yet, so when I showed the other ones. Hold on.
I don't know why they would copyright you on it. You're just promoting them. Mindy, you have a fantastic night, sweetheart. Good night.
All right, here we go. Here it is. Oh my goodness.
It's amazing how we stand here today, failing to see history repeating itself in each generation.
Oh my God, look, it's What the Hales Ranch.
Time periods. But man is man. The inherent flaws humans hold inside are part of the nature of man, spoken about in the first biblical story of Adam and Eve. With each century.
Look at all those people had no faces.
And it was clear
oh my
that
goodness.
the Hodunks began to idolize the whale.
Can't you believe Deuce, that big-nosed, horrible lawyer, did that?
Oh my
We
God.
must take down any anti-Hill enemies.
The Hodunks slowly started to follow the whale as he entertained them on his YouTube channel, providing them with content only the Hodunks could truly appreciate. And in time, it became evident the whale had become a leader of the Hodunks, acquiring their loyalty and support. At this time, no one was trying to lead and control the Hodunks except the whale, and he successfully assumed the role as leader and began a war with the support of the Hodunks against all those opposing him. Although he had only assumed leadership over 700,000 YouTube followers, predominantly the Hodunks. He set his sights big with plans to grow his empire. However, as Abraham Lincoln quoted, "Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power." As the whale gained more power and control over the Hodunks, his true character began to shine to those who did not become blind. But viewing leaders from our past, it was becoming apparent the type of leader the whale was becoming, and it was far from the type of leader the whale claimed to study and follow.
Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you.
You're winning. Can't you believe Deuce, that big
Man, not
horrible
yet.
lawyer, did that?
I wonder what Jesus is thinking of him now. Seems like hypocrisy to me and many others. The Wales War seems to look a little more like this.
Was that
Whoever does
guapo?
not belong to our people is a foreigner, and a foreigner is an enemy. Either victory of the Aryan or annihilation of the Aryan and the victory of the Jew.
Hodunks, we will take the enemy down.
Only this time, the fight against the enemy would be in the form of social media mob attacks, public humiliation campaign on YouTube, and of course legal battles designed to harass and humiliate.
Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt.
Wake up, Hodunks, wake up. For time is ticking, and with more power comes more destruction.
Oh,
my
you know what's you know what's so funny? I'm a direct descendant of Attila the Hun. Beware, Jeremy.
Telling you, that is crazy. That I love this. This is it's like literally telling the story and like putting it out there in a way that's like, don't you realize what you're doing? You know, don't you realize how you're backing this idiot and how silly you guys look? I mean, it's crazy.
See, I can say stupid stuff all the time because I think of this as a joke. It's the
Right.
biggest joke ever to hit the U.S. court system. And I do mean ever. This is a bigger joke than when the woman sued McDonald's for spilling coffee on herself and won.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But you know what? He's not going to win. So, no, he's not going to win. There's too many peeps involved. And, you know, I mean, as of right now, like, there's how many people were served before me? 5. I'm the conspirator here, I guess, you know, according to him. But yet I'm the one that served in line in number 6. Excuse me. What?
I don't get it. Are you the conspirator or is Bruce the conspirator?
Apparently it's Bruce.
Or is it? It's not Bruce.
It was me for a day. The moment he filed the lawsuit, that's it. They went right back
not
into
Bruce.
the Bruce thing.
It's not Bruce. It's this fella named Deuce, who we have yet to find out who that is.
Yeah. Well, we know who he's saying it is, but it's not. There is no Deuce. You know.
There is no Deuce.
There's no Deuce. No Deuce. But yeah. Have you read the blog of the Bullies video? It's all about Germ's lawyer and Germ's court cases. No, I have not read the blog. Lisa Christie said that you could say to Gabe he was sleep talking. Well, oh, that's true. I have a
Strat lover. That's what it should be here.
Put above the kitchen cabinet. I put it on the coffee machine. I'll see it in the morning, but they don't come wake me up. But what is this?
I would just put it in the passenger seat of the truck and the seat belted in. He's going to notice it right away. So what? Who cares if Jules plays with it? Oh, now you got to wait. My sound went out. So don't say anything interesting because my sound just went out. Great. Why does this happen? I hate when this happens. It's Lisa? Lisa's audio went out. Okay. Lisa, your audio went out. They can hear me. Everyone can hear. Whoa, Lisa fell out. She'll have to come back in because I'm the only one in there. Ha ha ha. It is now the Robbie Show. Z, where are you? I don't need the Robbie Show. Trust me. I'm not that arrogant. I don't need it. Lisa fell out of the channel. She's got to come back in. I don't need all that fame. It's not all it's cracked up to be, peeps. I promise you that. It doesn't make you any better than anyone else. Hello, Mother of Birds. Hello, Mike Johnson. Hello, Marla. Hello, Bonnie, sweetheart. Nine Chins. Oh, it's showtime. That's right. Welcome to the show with the host with the mostest. Oh my God. How you doing, sir? Hello, Mike. Hello, Kimberly Chess. Hello, Connie. Lori, Bobby Sterling, Edie, Hannah, Dude Cells, Marla, Beverly Ray, Deborah Fox, White Indo, Mother of Birds, there you are. Oh, F. Tate, there you are. Hello, honey. Silverheart, how are you doing, sweetheart? I'm just here. This is the Robbie Show. The lemurs are doing great, Betty D. No babies yet, but they're doing good. Jared, what do you mean, shut up, Robbie? How can you tell me to shut up? I'm not talking about Kendra's OF. Carol Crazy, Cindy.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. Nice of you to join us.
Sorry, I got my internet. I got kicked out. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
All right, because I can barely. Yeah, my internet just totally kicked out. I'm like, where did we go?
Wonderful things. Reedy, hello, sweetheart.
I gotta make you louder.
Their tops are made of rubber. Their bottoms are made of springs.
I got booted. Yeah, even my modem's out. My internet's out. I don't know what happened. Weird. What time is it? It's 12:23.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't do a goals thing for tonight because you know what, guys? I'm getting a lot of issues in regards to. Can you hear me, Robbie?
Yes, I can hear you, sweetheart.
I'm getting a lot of issues in regarding the giveaways. People are talking about it on Facebook. They're calling me a scam artist because people haven't received their giveaways. And I actually received a letter today about it. And what's funny is I responded to it, and all of a sudden I go and I check my the comments on videos, and someone received their package today. I'm like, what the? I'm like, okay. I'm like, but
yeah, people don't understand. Flut, hi, sweetheart. People don't understand. You only ship once a month,
right? Well, they're saying it's from February and March. That's what some people are saying.
Well, that's what just went out.
Huh?
That's what all you just shipped not long ago.
Yeah, I sent out a shipment, but some people didn't get theirs, which would only mean that it was left here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but based on how many ended up setting up, for first off, when we started doing it was back in December, and I wasn't sending them out at all because I was just so busy with everything with Holly Jolly Christmas and all that. And I said it would be sent out after the New Year. I sent them out in, I believe it was January. I have to go back and look. But then when we started doing this, and then the goals came up, we started. I said I was going to be mailing them once a month.
Let me say one thing before you say anything. Peeps, she is doing the best she can. She is doing so much. She's working on the Barndinium. She's working on all this court stuff, recording and saving everything that is put out. Just so when, well, now she has been served, but when she and I get served and everybody else in this case gets served, Lisa has all the proof.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of time, guys. That does take a lot of time up. And
well, not only that's one of the reasons why I said I'll always be doing it once a month. Also because sometimes people order crystals if I'm selling them, and sometimes people win more than once. Like there's several packages I sent out that had 2 items in it, you know, and like I sent out a crystals package forgetting that somebody else had a giveaway, so now they're getting 2 packages, you know. But the thing is, it's like if this is going to cause a problem. You know, like they're like, well, it's not free because, you know, you have people doing the goals. I'm like, first of all, I don't have to use the goals as a giveaway thing. I was just doing it that way, you know. So then you up the price or something.
Yeah, that way people are getting something for. That's why I started doing the goals, because I hate when people just give me money for no reason. So I started doing the goals. So I'd said someone would win and you get a chance to win. And Lisa's doing the same thing. And it's, guys, we're not here begging for
I started it with the goals. Because remember, I had the goals first. You didn't have them, remember?
I didn't have them.
But I was doing the giveaways before the goals ever even came out. There was no like send a super chat to add it up. It's not about sending the super chat. The super chats help my channel. You know, believe it or not, every YouTuber has costs to their channel. And it just helps. Things help. You know what I mean? It helps pay for itself. It's, you know, and the giveaways are, Lisa, to anybody who wins, it's free. But it also, the product costs money.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know?
Thank you, Mike. People don't understand. You know, like today, I did my shipping. I get people who spend over $100 free shipping. Right. Not all of the stuff goes expensive shipping, you know, but when you get a big box, it's much more than you expect. Like today, when I did all my shipping, I did 60 something packages and it was over $1,000. And
shipping costs a lot of money.
People don't realize that.
Yeah. Because look, you're getting a product, you're getting something that is either it's free, whether it's $10 or $20 item plus shipping, you know?
Right.
So like they don't realize now the goals, it's like I could do 1 giveaway, I could do 2 giveaways. I can get, you know, the goal to reach once, and I can do 2 or 3 giveaways. I was doing 2 or 3 giveaways playing games with no goals. And no super chats. You know what I mean? Right. Like that's not to do it. The reason why I do it is to have fun, to interact with people, you know. But now it's like people are talking about it. It's like, well, then I just want, if it's gonna be a problem, I just won't do it. You know, like I mean it wasn't meant to cause harm. It was meant to have fun and enjoy, and somebody gets a surprise gift. You know what I mean? And you know, but if people are gonna, you know, look at it wrong or what its meaning is, then
Deborah Fox, I expect
I never want to put something out there. That's not what it is.
In my chat to do the free giveaway thing, because that's why I do it.
Right.
It's not a tax write-off for me. No, it's not.
No.
It's me giving back to my community. Listen, I learned how to be a celebrity from one of the biggest celebrities in music and one of the most real celebrities, CeCe DeVille. And you only become who you are because of everybody. And I'm not trying to be a celebrity. That's the thing. I've been on TV. I've had a record deal. I don't give a rat's ass about that. I'm trying to just have fun. I'm trying to have fun and support my animals and my farm. You know, we get the tools, we make the money, we get the tools we need, we get the everything we need to build new things and everything. You guys have all seen everything. You know, I've had an incredible person. Only Me has donated a lot of money, got us our tractor, got us, a bunch of stuff, our cement mixer, a lot of tools that we use to build stuff, and got us a lot of chain link. I got 6-foot chain link. I got over 200 yards of 6-foot chain link. And it's crazy what this stuff costs to do this. People don't realize I run this farm. I spend roughly $1,500 to $1,800 a week in just feed. And that's just for the mammals and the birds and all that. And then Mimi and Chris get me, food for the gators. And then plus I got other people who donate food for the gators all the time. And I couldn't do it without everybody. I honestly couldn't. I couldn't do these gator calls without everybody who donates to save a gator, because that's what pays for my gas. That's what pays for everything we use to go do this. It pays for my poles, my reels, the line, the hooks, we just bought marshmallows. We just bought, everything adds up. And
I booted myself again.
Z and I don't take a penny. Chris and Mimi donate their time here. I give Mimi $300 a week for gas. And that's what it cost her to come here. But you know what Mimi and Chris get out of it is experience with the animals. They get the hours with every type of animal. So they can say they've worked with these animals, and I will sign off on their hours. Because why? They're good people. And they do incredible jobs. Mimi and Chris bust their butts here. And Z, I've never met a person in the world who busts his butt as much as Z does. And that's
awesome.
the honest to God.
Oh, I wanted to show you that video. Dang. It's on my computer. I can't show it. Dude, I can barely even see my phone. I see 2 comments at a time.
Oh.
I see Jeremy Hales saying, "What was the question?" And Lori and I said, "John Cap, I just come in from night over there." Lisa, I think Voodoo Doll is giving Kim Shu. Ooh, thank you. I saw that. Thank you so much.
Tell you what, I've been so grateful for Only Me this year, because we've gotten to do a lot of things this year that we would not have done till we made the money. And we've got another building on order. We've got 2 connexes being ordered. We've got we already bought 200 yards of 6-foot chain link. And it's incredible, because of people like you guys who donate and make it possible
Well,
for
I
us
did
to
actually
do stuff.
receive an email from someone, but it was also on Facebook too, and I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden, 2 more people had said this and then said that. I'm like, oh my God. I said, you know what? If it's going to be a problem, then forget it. I looked at it like I was doing a fun thing, interacting with everybody. I try to interact with the chat as much as I can.
Lisa,
the only time I don't is when I'm reading something, or like tonight when there's too many people on, I have to pay attention to everything that's going on at the same time. And so I can't really interact as much. But once we get over like the hump of what's going on, or the talk of the night, I'm always in the chat till I sign off. I hope you guys realize that. So I always try to do things to help, interact and make it fun, But I don't know.
It's Lisa, don't get discouraged. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an incredible job. You're under his skin, and that means you're doing a good job.
Well, thank you. My purpose wasn't to really get under his. I mean,
no, I know that. I know that
because to stop him from hurting people. That's what it was, And unfortunately, I'm under his skin because of it.
You're talking to somebody that knows the truth, and you wanted to go after him when he started in on me about the hoarder house, and I sat there and told you, no, just drop it. Who cares? Who cares? He's attacking me. Who cares? I am comfortable with who I am. I am 100% comfortable with who I am. But then he went after this woman. He went after Guapo, and I said, Lisa, knock yourself out. Do it.
Right.
And we discovered this whole Michelle thing and what he's doing to this family with a child. And I said, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're hurting the
and
narcissist.
I was doing giveaways before that. I used to do prizes with games and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I keep looking at my modem. It won't go back on.
So did we,
Something
though.
probably happened.
You were doing it. I was doing it. But we were just having fun being, who cares how many followers we have? I have a little over 66,000, but how many people actually, go through everything?
Right.
I've got over 7 million views on my channel, but does that matter? No. Who cares? I like the people that are here and that I can interact with, not the people who go like and they don't interact with us. I love
I guess it's
interacting
one thing when, you hear the Facebook people saying something that's like, okay, fine. But when you have someone that is in your chat a lot and they're saying something to you, it's like, okay, well, if this is actually really causing problems in the chat, like with my people that are normally here, then I don't want that. I don't want to offend anybody or, I'm just trying to have a good time with everybody.
Lisa,
Well,
you're doing the best you can. You've got so much on your plate, and I applaud you for what you're doing. And you're doing a good job. You're doing an incredible job. And listen, you've got people in here who come into my channel, and you've got Sir, and he comes in and buys stuff for you to do on your giveaway. And I'm like, that is so cool. That, that is incredible, because you're helping Lisa, you're helping me, and it's amazing. And
it helps. It definitely makes it easier,
Stop being so hard on yourself. I appreciate it. Lisa, you gotta remember, stop being so hard on yourself. Stop trying to take on more than you can swallow, and just keep it going straight. You're on the right line. You're on the right path. You can't please everybody, and that's one thing I learned from Cece, is you cannot please everybody. You can try to do the best you can. And that's all you can do, sweetheart. That's it.
I know, but like, even let's say we hit go and it says refresh for another one, I kind of feel bad. Like, I don't want to make you guys, go for another 10 for another giveaway. Like, I feel bad about it. And then people are saying shit. So it's like,
Lisa, don't feel bad, because if you don't do the goals, then people are doing breadsticks. And then those people are going to tear you apart because, oh, you're getting breadstick. No, you're not. You're giving people something in return. And that's why I do it. I don't want to be known as, oh, people are giving me money just to give me money. No, I do the giveaways. I do the save an alligator. I do Alligator Lives Matter, and it's just.
You should see me right now. I can't even read the chat. I have to, in order to hear you, I have to hold the phone to my ear.
I'm sorry.
I can't get you on speaker. I'm trying to figure out how to get you on speaker now that I'm already in this stupid thing.
Uh,
Hold on.
Listen, all these people
Come
in
on,
here
turn back
love
on,
you
damn it.
because
Usually
of
when it
what
goes
you're
out, it doesn't
doing.
last as long, so. But it's hard
You're
for
a
me to
good.
hear, and I can't see the chat when I'm trying to listen to it.
You're a good person, and I know I am a good person, and I go out of my way to do things for other people.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you do.
that's the same thing you do.
Did
Just
I
keep
miss?
being you.
Of course I paid my bill. Hold on. Julie, thank you so much. If you have haters, then you are doing something right. Thank you.
Discovery used to tell me that all
I
the
can only see
time.
two at a time. Haters give their money and get Kool-Aid in return. At least you give crystals. That's true.
You know what was funny, Lisa?
Aw,
I used to
thanks,
have,
Shar.
when I played in a band in LA, Crayola Kids, we had a bunch of haters that were all guys. But those guys would come to our show because their girlfriends came to our show. And it was just like, and now the haters have to come here and watch what we say. They have to try to tear us apart.
Where's the voodoo doll right now? It's actually next to me.
John Caps, I love you, bro. All kidding aside, you all are awesome. I love you all. And without you all, we'd be nothing. And that's the
What are the
honest God
hearts
truth.
for?
They love you.
Who's that? No, that's for me. Oh my gosh. You guys are so sweet. Oh my goodness. I told you I could only see two at a time. Like the haters, least here, loved by many of us. Oh, thanks, Jen W.
You guys throw those
Harper,
hearts up.
Crazy Lady, Lorene. Thank you. Julie, Jared, Donna Hawkins. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Yeah, I just didn't, I don't know how people feel if they're not saying anything, So
No,
when I got that, I was
Lisa.
like, you know what? And plus, it was the three of us on, well, then four, you came on. So what was I thinking, Sharon? Thank you.
Lisa, I love the fact that I worked with Jeremy Hales because I learned what not to do. I learned to do YouTube because I love sharing my passion. And he used to do that at a time. He used to have a passion for storage units and used to do that. But then he found he made more money off of drama.
Yep.
And that's what he does. That's what he does now. He attacks people to get drama. And that's where he makes more money because he pulls in these mindless, spineless keyboard warriors that are idiots.
Hodunk Hillbillies.
And
the internet's out.
I'd rather share my passion, share cool animal facts, share my love for animals. And I don't do it in a way that like all these animal activists do it. I'm a for real person.
Right.
And
thank you guys. Shout love it, Kim.
I give everybody facts. And
Stacy, Lisa, you put the voodoo back in the storage unit. That should help you out. Right? I should throw it in the garbage. I hear you, Robbie. But I just, Carol, thank you so much. Nana, Bonnie, Kathy, Doreen, Francis, Bud Light. Lisa, you're okay in my book. I don't care what Robbie says about you and his OF page. You keep going, girl.
See,
We are family.
Savannah keeps apologizing to me every day, and
Because she
every time,
introduced you to Jeremy?
yeah.
Oh my god, I
And
missed a lot. It's still going. Lisa rocks. You guys funny.
I'm like, sweetheart, don't worry about it. I'm a grown ass adult.
trying.
I can handle my own. I know who I am. You know who I am. Gatorland knows who I am. You know, Mark McHugh, the CEO of Gatorland, knows who I am.
Eileen, George. Come on, I'm trying to. I keep looking. Dang, internet's still out, guys. Just became obviously a fake channel. If I felt Get Swamp was, whoops. Now that jumped. Was going fake, I'd stop watching too. You'll never see fake out of Robbie.
You will never, ever see. It's not in my DNA. It's not. My dad never taught me to be.
How did Savannah meet Jerem? That is a good question. I don't know that part.
Because him and what's her name, George, showed up at Gatorland, and they wanted to start filming with Gatorland, thinking they could, and Savannah said nope. But here, if you really want to do something, I'll hook you up with someone that'll help you. And everybody knows that when Savannah first moved back to Florida, I trained her with alligators and crocodiles because she wanted to get a job at Gatorland. And when she was ready, I called Gatorland. I called Mike Howman, and I called Mark McHugh. I said, listen, she's awesome. You guys would be stupid not to take her. And they took her, and it exploded. They came up with Gatorland Global. She's done so much. Listen, Savannah is so big, and she doesn't even realize it. And I love her for that because she's real. She doesn't care.
Right.
She's about the animal. And
yeah,
I'm proud to say I taught her that. Who cares what people say about you?
Yeah.
It's about what you.
Well, see, I'm not like oh, they're saying this about me. Trust me, because you guys hear me all the time. It doesn't necessarily bother me. It's just I don't want the people that are here all the time and that are always here thinking that I'm doing something wrong or trying to offend anybody by doing that. That's what I care about. I care about the community here. You know, I don't care about the Facebook peeps or whatever. I mean, yeah, it pisses me off that my cousin's sons are being posted on the internet with malicious intent and they're under 18 years old. That irritates me. But you know what? You're going to do what you're going to do. I can't stop you from doing it, but I am going to be calling Facebook legal in the morning because I do have their number.
Yeah, and you should.
So, and I do know the main lawyer there, so I will be contacting them.
Listen, when this all goes to court, there's going to be so many things that come out that people don't know about because I don't talk about because I can't talk about. That's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And
well, I could tell you right now, when I go to file something, I think Megan and Tug are going to have to go look for other jobs. Because they're not going to have anything to talk about. I can tell you that.
Jeremy's going to have to find something besides fun employed.
Yeah. He's not going to be able to talk about my court case.
Listen, Hannah, you have no clue how big her heart is and what an incredible person she really is.
And they definitely do not have permission to post any pictures of Kendra's boys. No, they do not. You know, and they're thinking like they made fun of somebody's head. That's not even a relative of mine, and it's none of your business. So, I mean, to sit there and try and mock somebody because they're in a picture with somebody else is really rude.
Listen,
You know?
I've got so many people that are going to be called up with proof that it's incredible.
Well, here's the thing. Jeremy's got his little minions and his little cultists trying to hurt and mock people maliciously, and every one of them are going to be screenshotted and shown to that court, which means
And it goes to
the Donna
Jeremy.
Doobie chick, she's another one now.
And it goes on to
Because she's
Jeremy.
acting as if she actually knows my family, and she does not. Because if she knew, she'd know that those boys are under 18. And she's lying and saying that they're not. Because she thinks she knows their birth year. Yeah, well, they're under 18, bitch.
What people don't realize is, okay, Savannah and I have been good friends for 20 years.
We're talking about two totally different things.
No, I know. I'm just answering things in the chat. And
I'm checking my internet.
she's an incredible person. She's got a great heart, and her goal is to, the one thing when Savannah moved back to Florida, I told her,
Yes, dude cells.
here's
But
what
not
your
who she
goal
thinks
is.
she posted.
I told Savannah, here's what your goal is. Your goal is to teach people that animals are not demons. They are animals. They act like animals just like humans do. And she has taken that and run with it. And it's what I do all the time. I tell you guys, listen, animals are just like people. We have good days, we have bad days. It depends when you catch us. And that I will stick to my guns, and that is 100% true.
Thank you, Silverheart. Thank you. What was I thinking? I can see it now. It's just my phone is so small. I'm seeing 2 comments each. I mean, my phone's a normal size phone, but
Two old people.
between the picture up top with all of us, with us being on here, it's only showing me 2 comments. 2 old people.
Listen, Savannah and I are old.
That could be anybody, dude cells, but there's a picture of a man and a woman on there, and it's not, and the man is not any part of my family. Unplug your, hold on.
Oh boy.
I'm thinking there's an outage.
Believe what you want. You know, what your heart tells you. Because you'll find the truth one day.
Usually it goes back on.
This is a mess.
Probably an outage, but I can't check it because I can only check it with my phone. And I'm
Right.
on it with you guys.
Check it with Gabe's
Hotspot
phone.
your computer from your... Oh, hold on.
Oh, you could do that.
Hold, please. Where is my... No, I actually have a computer that connects to the hotspot. Hold, please. Let me see. I might be able to get this computer to do it. Hold on. Give me a minute. Hotspot. Let's see. Tis on. Let's see if I can grab it here. Robbie, you can keep talking.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Poe is doing awesome, Lorraine. Poe is amazing. He is so amazing. Dude, you guys, I wish you could live my life for a week. Rufus and Loki are doing awesome. I wish you guys could live my life for a week just to see how cool animals really are. because it's amazing the bonds you can build with them. Like Mimi gets mad because Poe will mimic me and he'll pick on her sometimes and play with her. But I'm like, Mimi, he's just having fun with you. He likes you. He's just having fun with you. And with me, he's totally different. He's totally different. He's respectful with me and everything. He'll bring me things and drop them right at me. And it's insane. But we will, Sylvie. We'll make some this summer of the lemurs and everything. I'm waiting for baby lemurs to be born so I can show the baby lemurs and all and do videos on the lemurs. But it is so hard to film during gator season because we get called out all the time. Oh, back to the country. He's 100% imprinted on me. He mimics my voice and everything. He comes and puts his head down at me, like bows to me, so I can scratch his neck. And it's amazing. And with Mimi, he plays with her and everything. He doesn't play that much with me anymore, which is, I don't like, because I like him being playful, but he's more respectful to me. And I'm not sure if I'm okay with that because I'd rather have him play with me and pinch me and bite me and do that. It's you guys saw Simba at Jeremy's place. He used to act different to Jeremy. And when I went down there, because I was with that lion when he was a young and a baby and then a young adult, he treated me different. She is awesome. She is fully recovered. Storm is doing great. Luna is great. Miko is great. That was a lion down south. We were at a guy's facility, and I didn't even know he had that lion. And when I walked in and I was talking outside, the lion started speaking. Hi, Samfire. And Jeremy was like, what the hell is going on? And we walked back there and I saw the lion and I was like, where'd this lion come from? And it came from, he sprayed at the side, Bonnie. He didn't pee on anyone. He just sprayed over at the side. And it's because he was happy. He was marking his territory. And he came right up to me, and you guys saw me have my fingers in there. And I never do that with an animal like that. But that animal recognized me right away. He recognized my voice from the parking lot and started going, woo, woo. And just from hearing me, because I'm so loud, he was speaking. And when I made it back there, he came right up and started scenting the cage. And
Can you
rubbing
hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he started marking his saliva against the cage. Lauren, it's not an animal whisperer. It's just I spend a lot of time with animals, and I love animals. And he is up at oh God, I forget the name of the facility, but I do have to go up there and Caddyshack. And I will go up and visit them because lions do not forget, and elephants don't forget, and lions, they do not forget.
My hotspot's not working.
Why is your hotspot not working?
I don't know.
That's weird.
I think the hotspot. See, I have an iPad thing that I don't use. And I think it has its own like phone number. I think the hotspot's connected to that, so I have to turn that on.
Oh, okay.
And that's probably not even powered up. Hold on.
Rini.
Yeah, I'm connected to my phone, but it's not giving me internet.
Yeah, monkeys don't forget you either. Apes don't. Monkeys might. Monkeys
Problem
aren't.
with my modem is I'd reboot it, but it's up so high. I can't even get to it. It's like up towards the ceiling. You know, I have the washer and dryer, and then there's those cabinets above it.
Yeah.
The modem's on top of the cabinets.
Oh.
So I can't even like go up there to reboot it or anything.
Hotspot will still work, Kimberly Chest, on her phone.
Is the power cord down low?
Yeah, unplug the power cord and then plug it back in.
No, it's up there. Which is kind of strange. But it's up there. Dang, man. Hold on, let me go get that other iPad and see if I can even just get it to turn on. Then I'll grab it. Hold on.
You guys, animals are truly amazing. I wish I could get that through to so many people. Even these alligators that we are going after, they learn who we are and what we're up to within an hour. They know we're trying to catch them, so they're trying to avoid us. And I just wish we could tell them, look, I wish I could speak Gator to say, look, I get to save your life. The other guys aren't going to do that. John Caps. I'm going to name one Spanky John just for you. Kimberly, we're waiting for animal. I got the galops. I got 8 baby galops that are doing incredible.
Of course it's not charged. No, of course not.
No, we're going to the horse ranch tomorrow, Jared.
You going where?
Horse ranch.
Oh, I want to go.
I can't take you there.
I want to go so bad.
That's the same horse ranch. What's her name? Got that miniature horse at.
Katie Man's like, oh, of course. As soon as I get the damn thing, the internet goes back on. It'll take a second, but the blue light's on. Of course. As soon as I went and got that thing.
Dude sells this horse ranch. They have 10 or 12 paddocks with miniature horses that Katie was at and bought one at. And they also have 3 Kentucky Derby winners that are there. And they've got a bunch that are out on the circuit right now. We'll film it tomorrow.
Hello?
Yes.
All right, hold on. I'm back.
Baby is awesome.
That was a pain in the buttocks. Dang. All right, I'm back on the computer. I can see y'all now.
Todd.
All right. So what did I miss? What's going on?
Todd, trust me, Jackass is still smarter than Germ. So don't do him the dishonor of naming him Germ.
Right? Now
Oh,
we
really?
Anna?
She bought 4 mini horses?
Did she?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Those mini horses are amazing there. I filmed them when I was there and I put up that video.
Did you?
Yeah, it was cool.
They're real smart.
Yeah, they are.
Pile 'em up, oh, pile. Thank you. You guys are
Awesome,
so
Paul.
sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just, you know what? How many people are here?
9 chicks.
350
chicks, you rock.
I see. Hold on a second. Hold, please. I'm going to put you on hold for another.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead. Put us on hold.
Well,
do it.
Now you're making me feel bad again.
Just do it.
I got feelings too, you know.
No, you don't. Just do what you're doing.
You know what I say?
Hold, please.
No, I say fuck it. Go.
Oh my goodness.
Screw it.
There you go. Pile them up.
Pile them up there, guys. Pile them up. Boom, boom, boom. Now remember, if you win this, you're only getting it the week of June 1st. Just know it's not going to be coming, or it's not going to be sent out until the first week of June. I'm not giving a date. But yeah,
listen,
I don't
here,
even know.
I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna do better. You're gonna get it when you get it.
There you go. For all the special people in the world out there, you're getting a giveaway. I know I won't win just playing for fun, sitting on the couch. Pile them up, oh, pile them up. Boom, 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 boom. We got 40 entries. Wow. Keep going. Come on, come on. They love it. I mixed the grape jelly.
I never win giveaways or anything like that. But you know what? I win in life.
Say that. I can't say that. I win all the time.
Every day of my life is incredible, so I can't complain.
Yeah, I have a thing. My mom, oh my gosh, if we went somewhere and they had a raffle, she'd always win. It would never fail.
That's how my wife is. That's how my mom was.
Uh-huh. And they used to bring me, like, well, I told you my dad, I always used to go to him with the harness racing, the horse racing. And then also to Highlight, because I was like his good luck charm. And I told you guys the day of the Kentucky Derby, I literally just picked a horse right out of in like seconds before the gates opened. And Gabe was floored because the horse I picked was 13-1. He goes, dang it. He goes, if we would have had money on that. I said, I know. I'm telling you, when it comes to horse racing, you better listen to me. But anyway.
Hey,
But I'm always
Flutter.
good with numbers and stuff like that. And as you guys have seen, I've won plenty of Robbie's giveaways. I really have.
Yeah, she has. Flutter, do me a favor. Put up my Amazon list, please. I just added the first aid kit that I got to put in my toolbox for the Gator truck in case somebody gets bit.
Oh. When you wake up every day, it's a win. Absolutely.
Thank you, Flutter. I just added the first aid kit to my Amazon wish list for my new truck. That way, if someone does get bit, we have everything there.
Let's see. Is all my stuff purchased again? Let's see. Yep. They did it again. Robbie, I have, oh no, I switched it out. Okay, I changed it. But the shelving unit that I needed 3, right? And they went and they like bought it, right? Or they said they did, right? So I went back and I said I needed 500, and they went and bought 500.
Yeah, they do that to mine all the time. All the stuff on mine, there's stuff bought, and there are things that are bought, but there's.
Well, when something comes in, I remove it. Or if I'm told they bought it, I'll remove it.
Right.
You know? Will you be able to email me the link?
That's what I do.
Yes, Hannah, I could do that. I got to make sure I have the correct list, which I should have, but they were changed.
Lemurs are yelling.
They're yelling.
I don't know. I got to look at the camera. Hold on.
Oh my God, Rachel, you're bad.
Rabbits. Rabbits are in the pen area.
Enjoy the Palma song. Oh, the one that's from the beginning, the 3-minute long one. I just, I'm not sure if people like that music, but the lyrics are great. So sometimes I'll play it and sometimes I won't. What? I just got new characters for Kendra. They're going to be cute. Because, we use characters on our thumbnails and stuff, that resemble the characters, our character, of who we are. So it symbolizes each of us in a way. And Lisa, is it true you challenged Kendra to a pillow fight on her OF page? No, but Kendra and I have had pillow fights before. Oh, I'm sorry, Christine. Yeah, I have a lot of songs, and that one, we played it one night, but I think it needed its own video, so I put it up. Because we have an awesome person who just is so talented. And is very creative, and that was all her. Beautiful song. My dad always said I was a character. That's right, Debbie, get in there, Palma. We got 73. The true Don Caps. I seen it on Kendra's OF page. You guys be lying. Kendra don't have an OF page. It took you that long to type in Palama? Tammy's on the shut up. Shut up, Don. Shut up, John Cass. Where's your clock, Lisa? Oh, I got some. Hold, please. I got lots of clocks. You guys are going to like this. Hold on. Let me find it. I actually was moving files over today. Okay, this one. Okay, guys,
Lisa, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Wow.
People have said that they bought the security lights we need, the solar street lights. And the helmets. The helmets, we've gotten 2 helmets. And they say they're all bought. and the stainless steel hog rings. They say they're all bought. It's just people are. Amazing.
What's happening on Thursday? Thursday, we're going to do sales. And it's going to be all kinds of different things. Even some crystals. We're going on a cruise this year. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Mo Magic is on Kendra's OF page right now. Shut up, John Caps. Did y'all see the image up here? My clock? At least I wish I could go there and pick you up and go to the town hall meeting Tuesday. Actually, it's going to be Wednesday. They changed the date to Wednesday. Did I get the package yet? No, but something is sitting there waiting for me to get it. Found that out today. That's probably what it is. Oh, Tammy. It's Thursday. Cool. Very cool, Doreen. And then Friday's my birthday. So actually, once it hits midnight, it's my birthday. So we'll be hanging. Thursday's a good day. That's the clock. Draw, hurry up. I need to sleep. Draw. There's another one here. Hold on. Let's see what the other one is. I think this is Ed here? Or did he leave?
Ed's here.
Hold on. Let me switch. This one. The only thing the photo is missing is Ed saying, Joe, hang on.
Ed'll say
it. All right, Todd. Is this time even real? Giveaway or revolution?
you know what's so crazy is
Thank you. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday. That's what we'll be saying on Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, tomorrow. Wait, what's tomorrow? Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday's Cece's birthday.
14th?
Yep.
Cool. Very cool. I just hope Thomas isn't at the town hall meeting tomorrow. No, he knows about it. He knows it's Wednesday. Whether he's going or not, I don't know. But I know that he knows it's Wednesday. Oh. I don't know. Why? What do you think? You think Germ's gonna show up there?
No. Martha will.
You think Martha's gonna go inside unless Michelle's there?
She won't go inside unless she sees Michelle's vehicle there.
She didn't go inside last time. She stood out in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet you if Michelle wasn't there, she wouldn't go in either.
No, she wouldn't.
She just went to start shit.
Yeah, she'll go in only if Michelle's car's there.
Trust me, they're prepared for Martha to show up. But, question is, will Radis be there? And if he is there, how long do you think he's going to end up staying there? Sorry.
He doesn't leave till the end of this month.
So he said.
Well, you pointed out the ticket. Yeah, you showed the ticket.
Yeah. The ticket shows that he's leaving. The ticket was booked. If it was legit, it was booked for May 30th. But when he posted it, he said he was leaving April 30th. So he's trying to, mess people up. So people thought he was leaving. I don't think he left at all. I don't think he left at all. Did
All
she
I
come back?
know, Zoe said he'd love for him to show up here.
I don't know if she did or not. Believe it or not, I don't keep tabs on where they are. I go by what they're saying in their video. So whether she's there, I don't know. She's supposed to be back this week, is what he said. Now he could be lying too. Who knows?
Who cares?
But the good thing is, if it's just her that's back, Otter Creek is still in good, because George doesn't really cause a problem when she's there. She doesn't make the neighbors all like twisted and stuff, and making their lives miserable.
No, she doesn't do the bidding unless he's there to harass her.
Right. He's got Travis to do that when he's not there.
Right.
Because Travis only goes and hangs out at Tube Town, if you notice, when Jeremy's not there. He hasn't been there. And last summer when Jeremy left, he was right in front of Tube Town the whole time. Every time.
Because he does his bidding.
Mm-hmm.
When I first met Travis, I liked him. And then the second time I met him, I was like...
Yeah, you weren't all for Travis.
No.
I was like, no, he's not like that. He's not like that. Wow. I was wrong. I did. I stood up for Travis to Robbie.
Yeah, she did. I was like, I do not like this guy.
Mm-hmm. Nah, he ain't like that. And the reason why was because he was like, I'm not choosing sides. I'm not, doing that. This is not going to affect you and me, until it did. And I'm like, you're a fucking liar, dude. And then he was such an ass. And I'm thinking, you know what? You're ungrateful. You're absolutely ungrateful. I helped you with your freaking channel.
Dude, he's a joke. He does not have his own personality. And I saw that right away. And
no, he don't.
He's
Dude,
so...
he's saying drama llama this, drama llama that, while he's sitting there doing nothing but talking about Michelle and John across the street for 2 hours, 3 days in a row. 6 hours of talking about them. What do you mean, drama llama? You're the drama. You're creating it. I'm just recording your bullshit because all the shit you're spewing out of your mouth is going to end up in court against Germ. Why? Because he owns that property. And that's how Hang Your Hat Homes is going to come into play. Because Jeremy thinks we're not going to go after Hang Your Hat Homes. Wrong. It's going to be his fault. It's all about Tube Town.
I don't know. My lawyer's just waiting for me to be served.
I know. I'm excited. I am. I'm really excited about this because here's the thing. We get to tell the judge who this guy is.
And it's so funny because he sits there and calls me Dodgy Robbie. No, I go on with my life every day like I do. If they catch me, they catch me. Fine. Here.
That's what happened with the subpoena you were served with.
Yeah, ask the server. Ask the server. I was so polite. I was like, she was like, I got to tell you, you're very polite. And I go, I don't have a reason not to be. You're not the one that's doing this to me.
Right.
It's not you. You're being paid to do a job by some asshole.
Yeah.
So take his money and be happy.
Yep. Let
my lawyer handle it with his lawyer. And then he lied about all that, saying my lawyer called his lawyer. Never once.
He's like a liar, man. Yeah.
Never once. Sent him an email, said this is wrong.
Robbie, he told his whole crew, he told his whole, planet that I dodged my depot, that I didn't show up for my depot.
Yeah, I know.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, and my depot wasn't until 10 a.m.
And
For 2 hours before that, he told everybody I didn't show up. And it's because he knew I wasn't going to.
Right. And he knew He knew all of us weren't going to because we were improperly served.
Yeah. And he knew that. You're trying to tell me that your lawyer knows how to serve people in a federal lawsuit, but didn't know or did he think we were all stupid and we weren't, we didn't know any better? One of us was bound to figure it out. All the people he was trying to serve. And then it's like he screwed up with the first person. Then it was like one less step he screwed up with me, like throughout the whole thing. Like all the steps that he was supposed to take, he screwed every one of them up, right? I think Marlo was next, and he screwed like 4 out of 5 up. And then like you, and it was like 3 out of 5. You know what I mean? It's like he couldn't just get all 5 of it right. So everybody was wrong, improperly.
John Caps, have a great night. Prayers, brother.
Good night, John Caps. So it's like everybody was improperly served,
I don't understand it, Lisa. I really don't. The guy is unhinged. He's crazy.
Yeah, he can't wait to get me into a depot, and he can say, this is gonna take 7 hours, 7 days. Okay.
Okay, that's illegal. 7 hours, 7 days. That's illegal.
He says he's gonna keep people. He said this every time. He's gonna keep people for 7 hours, which he can do, and as many days as it takes, so what, 7 days or whatever, you go ahead, because you are going to be really bored. Because
you're going to be really bored because I'm going to say, sorry, I don't recall.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yes, no,
I don't recall.
Irrelevant. Not
sorry,
relevant.
I don't recall.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
If he asks me anything prior to my meeting Michelle, irrelevant.
Well, guess what?
Anything.
Ask me anything prior to meeting Michelle. Irrelevant. I've never met Michelle.
There you go. There you go.
I've never met Michelle or John. Irrelevant.
I met Michelle in November. I spoke to her on the phone late August.
I've never met either one of them.
Mm-hmm. But I met her when I first went there. When the day after the fence arrived, Gabe and I went up there. So, yeah. So anything before that, or me even talking to her the first time, and they talk about phone records and all this shit. Well, you're not getting my phone records that has anything to do with Michelle, because I don't talk to her on my phone. Never did. So
I'll be like, here, dude, you can have my phone. I don't remember my password. I'll give him my phone. I don't remember my password. I own an Apple.
Well,
good luck with that one. Nope.
You have privileged information on your phone. You can't take your phone.
I don't remember my password. I forgot it.
Oh.
Good luck getting that from Apple.
We're trying to dodge phones. Meanwhile, I don't talk to any of those people on my phone. Ever.
I have never. I have never.
Ever. And there's like, what emails do they think they're going to find? Nope. No.
All right, let's do a draw. Let's do a draw so I can go to bed.
It's not even going to get that far, dude. Anyway,
it's 1:28. I got to get to bed by 1:30.
How many we got? We got 85 entries. Get your last chance to get into the giveaway tonight. Enter hashtag Palmalt. Shut up, Terry. Draw already. Saga will try to do what he did to Michelle. Ask a relevant quit. Yeah, and he's gonna get an irrelevant. Let's
don't remember.
129. You got.
Don't recall.
Yeah. Because the whole case is nonsense. There you go, Nana. Follow him up.
It's all BS. It's
Deborah?
all BS. Listen, if you were a good Christian, you would not attack thy neighbor. You would
There we
not
go. One of you
attack,
guys just got in.
you would not attack anyone. You would move on from anyone saying anything about you and go on with your life.
Go. 1:30. Here we go. I'm drawing it. Here we go. Ready? Boom. Oh my God. Stacy, Mike, Kim, Sandra. Oh my God. Mo. But right. Chickley, Palma, Christy, Sharon, Lori, Nye, Pammy, Yammy, Patty, Kim Sadie. Oh my goodness. I hope I'm saying your name right. I've said it quite a few times. Kim, congratulations.
Congratulations, Kim.
She won 3 nights ago. Wow.
Savannah, Strictly, what's happening?
Congratulations, Kim. She won 3 nights ago. Or 3 giveaways ago. Lucky, lucky Kim. Where's my pen? Good luck finding a pen. My desk has everything piled onto it because I've been going through that unit. I got chargers everywhere. I found a trail cam. Let's see. And in this thing with the trail cam, it looks like, oh, what's that? It looks like there's a flash drive. Oh, we don't know what's on there. Man, I need to. Kim Sadie. Whoop whoop. Congrats.
All right. I have to get to bed. It's 1:30.
Yeah, we're going to get going, guys. I'm glad you guys won. I'm glad I did a giveaway because I like when you guys get fun stuff. I know it doesn't come right away, but I'm not Amazon.
It'll get there when it gets there.
It'll get there. You never know. Kim, you could end up with like 5 things. Who knows? We still got a good, like, I don't know, what, 16, 17 days left of May. You never know. You never know. All right, guys, thank you so much. I don't know if Tori's going live. Did she go live today? I didn't see her go live today. Did you?
No, she didn't feel good today. She didn't even work today.
Really?
Yeah,
right. Well, I don't know if she's going live, but
Tori's, her legs feeling better, but
she's tired.
Her whole body is just beat.
Mm-hmm.
Her body went through a serious trauma.
Yeah, well, she needs rest, and it's good for her to get the rest, so it's okay. But so I don't know if she's going on tomorrow or not. She might. Knowing Tori, she probably will be. I don't know. But, look for it. Just pay attention to your notifications. If you have them on, put them on. And if you want to check her out, tomorrow is our normal Tuesday, so of course we'll be here at 10 o'clock. Being that we're on tonight, I don't know about Wednesday, but anyhow, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Mike and Rich for coming on tonight and chatting with us. And thank you to all our mods. Definitely go check out their pages. They're awesome gals. And
mods are incredible.
Prayers up for everybody.
Mods I do, and you guys are absolutely incredible. Even though I'm going to yell at Bonnie because I haven't seen Bonnie on a Friday night forever.
Or Bonnie in trouble. Oh, that's right. Don't forget tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Hopefully I'll be wide awake. I'm going to be on an interview with Legally Leslie. Bruce and I will be there. And from what I remember and what I recall, it's going to be on her channel and here, as long as I can get it to work. If not, it'll probably be on hers. But either way, you'll see it on here, or I'll post it with the link so you guys can come see it if you want to. But it is at 10 a.m. So I'll let you guys know. Lisa, can you put her link? Okay.
Bonnie, you could tell her hubby to come join you.
I'll post her link. But I don't have it right here. I asked for it, but I'm not sure I got it. I don't think I did. The internet was out, so I haven't checked since. But I will get it and I will post it. And you can check us out on Legally Leslie. Mañana. I think we are going to be showing it on here as well. But definitely check Legally Leslie out. She seems really cool and she seems like a lot of fun. So it should be fun. Anyway, thank you guys so much. See you tomorrow night and in the morning.
You guys, love you all. Guess what? Share your passion, random acts of kindness.
Yep.
And you guys are absolutely amazing.
Absolutely fabulous. Have a great day, guys. Night, day, depending on where you are. And we'll see you later.
For now.
Bye.
The wonderful thing about tigers is tigers are wonderful things. Their tops are made of rubber, their bottoms are made of springs. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ta-ta. Say it, toodaloo. Say it, guys. There it is, Ed. Toodaloo.